Hello everyone and welcome to the Frostbite Invitational Autumn for 2023. I am DJam and I'm joined with CoCo. You excited for tonight's event?
Yeah, of course. Today we're seeing the top few teams from the AU-NZ region, the top Korean top teams from the simplified and traditional Chinese teams. And we're going to be seeing them play off today in today's Frostbite Invitational 2023. What do you think about this, DJam?
Oh, here in OC we get a lot of we don't have many opportunities to get these high level players to be on such a grand stage, and not only a stage where you have top teams from not only OCE, but you get them from all over the continent here to see what you get to battle against not only people in your region, but maybe in some of those lesser represented regions as well.
Yeah, for sure. You know, an opportunity like this doesn't really come by that often, right? To have the chance to face off against people from different regions and different communities, right? The OCE region is not really connected with the regions from the other teams that are playing, so it's really exciting to see if the players from our region are able to measure up from players of the other regions. So yeah. Do we want to get into the maps today?
Yeah, let's dive into those.
Yeah. So for today, we have the map pool, right? So how the tournament works is that we have a set map list for every match, but today this is just the general pool from which this list was picked from. As you can see, you have actually quite a lot of good picks on this map, right? Most notably, you have actually, you have your Splatoon's Crab Leg and Ship Shape, the two new maps that were introduced this season. And you also have for Rainmaker, you also have more returning picks, right? You have all the classical Splatoon 3 maps, and also some ones from Splatoon 2.
Yeah, there's so many. There's a wide range of plays that all these players can really choose to do. Like, yeah, you said Crab Leg has such a change from how Splatoon 3 has been taking their direction on making stages, and providing you those flank options. But then you compare it with something like Monkey, where very much it's still, yes, it had those reworks, it's wider now, but it's still very much the same playstyle as it was before. And still maps. You have your range of options. Yes, you have sometimes where you can go one route, you can go two routes, but then you got your standard one way, or the highway ways of you can take these.
Yeah. So maybe starting off, we'll get into the first match relatively soon. So do we want to show who's playing actually? And
give me that information. Sao Tome versus Ikanabe. Is there anything you can tell me about these two teams here?
Yeah, so Sao Tome is one of the up-and-coming teams in the OCE region. They've been taking the scene by storm. They had a low ink win all the way in February on their first try, and ever since then they've also been kind of up there in the OCE scene, just dominating tournaments like Krim Cup, right? And yeah, today Sao Tome will be representing the OCE region. And on the other hand, we have Ikanabe, which is one of the teams from the Korea region. They also played in the last OCE Cup, and they actually managed to upset Solstice, taking a win off of them in the winner's bracket of the last edition of this tournament.
Yeah, you have players from the OCE. We have Mike, we've got Ice, we've got Bread, we've got Quill and Cookie. And then on the side of Ikanabe, we do have people like Pochi, we have QP, we have Iroharu and Pineapple Man. Yeah, I was looking at that for a second. That's Pineapple? That's Pineapple Melon? Like, okay. I was processing that at the same time as reading it. I'm like, I see now. But we don't often have opportunities for teams across these regions to really play against each other at this level. So I'm curious to see, because different regions have their different style of meta, in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
NA is known for how aggressive they can be, while EU sometimes plays a bit more defensively. And then JP has a lot more, like, turf is kind of their focus a bit more, and focusing on single modes. Like, each region has their different ways of playing the meta game and how they want to take their strategy, how they think they want to take objective and win, get splats, and where do you go from getting those splats and how do you capitalize on that? So it's really interesting to see that we're not only starting off this set today with two teams that have not even very likely played against each other, but two regions that don't really get to play against each other either.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, with that said, we can be very quickly getting into our first game here. All the players are in the lobby. So, yeah. So the first pick of today, the first map that we're going to be seeing is Museum di Alfonsino on tower control. What do you think of this pick, DJam?
Well, it's quite a stock standard one, this one, to be honest. There isn't too much in terms of that this particular map changes in terms of your standard tower, how you play it. You got your low to high types of elevation. You have places for your snipers backline to camp up. Probably the main asterisk to this is the fact that, you know, you have your rotator back in the middle, which can provide that bit of opportunity for backlines, and to really, it puts the tower up quite high compared to some of the other tower maps, but that's really the main divider of this map on tower control compared to some of the other ones. And I'm really curious to see if we do see a backline come out from these teams early on as we dive into the first game.
Yeah, so coming out from the side of Satomi, we do see a tri-slosher, and we do see double dualies coming out, and coming out from Ikanabe, we actually have kind of a very old meta comp, right? You have the Stamper and the Splash and ZF Charger. So I wonder how these two teams will fight. Ikanabe instantly taking a drop on Riot, and Satome is going to be scrambling to fight that, instantly getting picked off by that Charger. Ikanabe is really quickly setting up for this first push, and Satome has to get their defense going.
Have to get it, and have to get it fast. Cookie trying to do something with Julius there, but does get taken out. Charger is going to sit on the tower, going to push that tower on in to the second checkpoint here. Great start. And are they going to be able to do anything more? They're looking to find any ways, looking to find opportunities to just break through, push through. But with two members down on the side of Sao Tome, this isn't looking good, as they've only got one checkpoint remaining. And a great push coming from the triple ink strike is certainly going to help them clear that checkpoint. Only
Satome needs to do tower here, or it might be over for them. They are one down, and Ikanabe instantly taking the first game. Satome has like 4 games left to take back the set, so I'm sure they can do it, right? It's ooh.
Yeah, but as they've only got one checkpoint remaining. A great push coming from they just take the tower. Ink strike is certainly going to help them clear that checkpoint. Only
Satome needs to do tower here, or
you have 3 players down at the end of this game. You know that's going to be game over right there. And
yeah.
But the thing is, you're in that circumstance, you kind of know where you fumbled up. Like, you know how you got into that circumstance. It's not like you were 4 players up the whole time and you got taken out. So that's kind of when you go, okay, do I really know how to repair that? But I think in the side of Sao Tome, they kind of know where they kind of fumbled up. But yes, it was 100-0 sweep. It was a Hail Mary. We can say that with absolutely certainty. But Ikanabe, they've done the first game. They've taken it.
They've done the first game, but that doesn't mean they can win the rest of the games.
No,
might be goated here.
There is a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, we are gonna be playing on Rainmaker Eeltail Alley. And in my opinion, this pick is all about whoever is able to get mid first. Right. So like,
Yes.
if you're the first person to make the move in this map, that's gonna give you a really big advantage. And obviously, the biggest problem in this map is getting past that first checkpoint. You have that whole uninkable area, so it really matters about who is able to push the farthest here. And yeah, with that said, the first match should be starting right now. On the side of Sao Tome, we do see the exact same comp coming out, and both teams actually running same comp, except for the ZF Charger. I think the ZF Charger pick is pretty smart. Having a vac can let them push across that really tricky uninkable, as I mentioned before. So right now, it's gonna be an ugly fight for mid.
Absolutely getting the first looks, first opportunities to scope each other out. We're going to see the Stamper pull out the Ninja. Are they going to be able to do anything? Yes, they are. Get the spawning onto Ice Clear there. Great way just to get an early start. And 3 players
going 3
down
right now. Ikanabe is starting this with a huge advantage. All they have to do is take out the Tri-Slosher, and they might be able to secure this first checkpoint here. Sao Tome is trying to defend, but Sao Tome does stop the push, and now they have to really fight to get this pop right. And they also really need to get the members of Ikanabe out of their base. Ikanabe, however, securing that pop and just getting the checkpoint.
They're just continuing the aggression. Like, we're seeing more players go down to this Amber here. And what can you really do when you have such aggression at your base? What you can do is have the Rainmaker blow yourself to hell. And with 3 players going down on the side of Ikanabe, Sao Tome finally has their first opportunity in this set to make a push of their own, but they've got to make a strong one. They've got to get this counterhook. They've got to find ways to break through Ikanabe. And losing the Rainmaker is certainly not going to help that.
Yeah, Ikanabe has actually 3 specials up now. And they can very easily take this Rainmaker back to mid and force Sao Tome into an unfavorable position.
Yes, and but 3 players again go down on the side of Sao Tome. The Rainmaker is on the side of Ikanabe, so they're going to have to carry that a little bit of distance, though, to get that further. Going to let it reset there, just give them a bit of time, give them that control over mid, give them that opportunity to push through. Are they going to get us? Yes, they are!
Yeah, and we also do see the Charger popping the vacuum here, just to try and secure this passage through the uninkable. And the Rainmaker actually cheesing it just a little bit. Ikanabe 3 down, though, and this is Sao Tome's chance to come back. They really need to make a quick push here, right? Sao Tome only has 1 special, that being the Crab, but set up on this bridge could be a very powerful space-taking tool to allow Sao Tome to further push.
You're talking about a quick push, and they've already cleared through the first checkpoint, and have got 2 players down to their name, looking to get that Rainmaker even further.
That
lead is theirs! Are they going to be able to get it? They're getting to the vessel!
Uninkable as well.
9 points
9
remaining!
points.
That is
and many
the push they were
members
looking
of
for.
Sao Tome are already quickly fighting back. Sao Tome has a attack cooler already set up, and actually extend their push all the way to 4. Oh my god.
They've got...
Getting enabled by that tactical right there, as we saw, it enabled the team to kind of feed into the members and keep up their aggression really well. That was a good play.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see that Crab come out again, but not on their side, getting 2 players down there. And now, they're going to look for opportunities. They're looking to get some splats. They're looking to do some more damage, get their revenge, and take back the lead of what is rightfully theirs as a Crab comes out in retaliation. They see the player there, but are they going to find anything? No, they are not going to get some chip damage there, but is anyone going to follow up? That is going to be no. Try Zuka eyeing off the members, going to try it. It's just trying to find ways, trying to find opportunities, trying to break through, trying to find splats, and splats are being found. Something is going to need to happen, though. Do a bit more damage, and 2 players down is certainly that damage.
Oh, and Ikanabe barely moving up the lead to 1 point. Sao Tome pulling out the clutch, and that's a wipeout on the side of Ikanabe. Sao Tome can just take this Rainmaker back to mid and just defend, right? And it's really important to note that looking at Sao Tome's team composition, they have a lot of bombs compared to Ikanabe, who have 2 burst bombs and 2 like actual bombs, right? Sao Tome has 4 real bombs, I guess. Yeah, they're running Splat Bomb and they're running Fizzy Bomb, and that could be an incredible song too. But because the Stamper just pulls out the Zip Caster, and that's already 3 down from Satome.
The soft wipe, that's certainly going to be devastating for Sao Tome, but can they set up their defense? Can they get their positions ready? Can they hold off the players of Ikanabe with only 10 seconds left on the clock? 2 players down. Is this Crab going to do anything? A flank is going to try and do a bit of damage there. The Rainmaker is looking at trying to get up. They're going to the pedestal, but there's still players down. The Tri-Slosher is going to come down.
Satome takes the second game.
Oh, that you do.
That was
a
a nail-biting game, man.
Do not want to be in the face of a Tri-Slosher, even if you think you have that little bit of a ledge protection. A Tri-Slosher is going to go up and over that and send you to hell and
we
back.
got this
Can
as
they
well.
set up their defense?
Okay.
Can they get their
Taking
positions
home
ready? Can
the second
they hold
game,
off
setting
the
the
players
score,
of Ikanabe
1-apiece.
with only 10 seconds left on the clock? 2 players down. Is
Now,
this
Satome really has an opportunity to actually win this now. We've seen both teams come up strong on both of these picks, and Satome putting up an incredible aggression that game as well, which I do think is their strongest asset. In that first game, Satome was given no chance to push up, but in this second game, we do see Satome got their foothold, and it just really allowed them. To go up and mess with Ikanabe. Now, we have Clablet Scorch Gorge, DJam. What do you think about this?
Now, we've seen a game win from both of these sides, so we're kind of getting an understanding of how these teams play. And going into this game, I'm pulling out my prediction. I am getting the white hat here, and I'm dipping my hand in. And to me, this says Ikanabe for this game. Mainly just because of how well they can retake mid and how well they can get that aggression going. But
I agree.
in saying that, we saw then Rainmaker, Sao Tome just brought so much aggression and did deliver that so quickly that they could absolutely still take this back, because this is Ikanabe's map based on what we've seen so far.
For sure.
But it's also Sao Tome's mode. So both of these teams have something going for them as we're going to go into game 3 very shortly. It's just whose strategy and whose decision making comes out on top here.
Yeah, for sure. I do think both Ikanabe and Sao Tome both have equally strong opportunities to push. As we saw on that last map, both teams kind of had a really not easy time. They were both pretty evenly matched in their push power, right? You had the Vac and you had the Crab. But anyway, now we're starting off with this third game. Sao Tome once again running their tried and tested comp, and Ikanabe switching out their Charger and Slosher for a Neo Machine and a Pencil. I guess Ikanabe is realizing the power of the Tacticooler.
Yeah, that Pencil is also going to provide a lot of quick turf over mid and really enhance them at getting that mid control. But with two players going down quite early.
This could be Satome's early push coming out here. Unfortunately, Satome actually getting picked off, and it's a trade in terms of player power. Now Ikanabe, it's now Ikanabe's turn. No, never mind.
You can't.
It's going back and forth in mid. Both teams seem to be a bit evenly matched, and I suppose we'll be waiting for either team to get a special and just get a few picks to fire off here.
See, that's the thing about Scorch Gorge, really. It's just really a matter of getting that mid control. Just because there's not really many opportunities as two players go down on either side, it's just you're constantly scoping each other out. You're constantly dancing around the middle pedestal to try and find your way in, trying to find an opportunity to break through, trying to see who fails first. That is what this is all about. Don't fail and you win. Fail and you lose. That is the aim of this game. We're seeing one player try and break through, but they're not going to be able to find much follow-up there. But, you know, they're trying to get anything, trying to think. Two players go down inside Satome. Is Ikanabe going to be anything? A bit of a flank coming up, and here comes the first player. Is it going to land itself in? No, it's not! Going down to the Julies.
Yeah, Satome's double dually comp here is actually pretty difficult to fight, right? Both of these dualies have really good specials. And if the players are definitely also really cracked at their weapons. So it's just really preventing Ikanabe from pushing here. We do see that back the Zuka coming out, and Ikanabe is failing at getting this push. Finally, all of their members, that's a pseudo wipe going down, and Satome really needs to move into mid here, right? They have to capitalize on this space. That was an incredible defense put up by Satome, but now they need to make sure that their aggression is on par. And it seems that Satome quickly going 2 down here. They have to regroup, and they have to play a bit more carefully here if they really want to get a push off. It's been about 2 minutes 30 into the game, and it's halfway, and both teams haven't been able to make a single push here. And that really just tells you how evenly matched these both of these teams are.
Yeah, as soon as one player goes down, another follows suit on the enemy's team. But now 2 players going down on the side of Sao Tome. But then you see it just gets returned back. A player down on either side. And it's trying to find opportunities, trying to find ways to break through. 2 players go down on the side of Sao Tome. But then another player goes down on the side of Ikanabe. It's just constant. Player after player after player. No one is going to be able to break through, but the turf is currently leaning in the favor of Ikanabe, and they're looking to try and get another power clam, head into the basket, but are they going to be able to deliver that all the way in?
We do see Sao Tome popping the tactical here. That's a very good decision, as they want to make sure that even in this crucial time of push, that they can get back onto the field quickly. Ikanabe quickly securing their first push here, and they are just dunking clams into the basket. Sao Tome will really need to make up for this with a really good push. They have a chance to stop this additional power clam from coming in here. And that's a wipeout coming out from Sao Tome. They can very quickly capitalize on mid here, and if they use the full power of their bombs, they can also manage to secure ramp. The tactical already coming out, and this could be the start of Sao Tome's push.
It could be, but they're going to need more than just take it up. They're going to need to get the splats, and 2 players going down to their name. That might not be enough. They do have a power clam in reserve there. They got one in the bank just in case. But, you know, with players going down, with trades happening, if this anything is to be judged from what we've seen from the first 2, 3, 4 minutes of this game. It's going to be tough for anything to happen, for any more pushes to go through. It's just going to happen. Something has to break through here.
And we do see that Stamper immediately getting 2, just as you say that. And that could be another cue for Ikanabe to start getting set up on Sao Tome's ramp. And actually setting up for a push here. You see Ikanabe, just as soon as you get rid of one of them, another one appears. It's a never-ending torrent of them. And
they just don't end. They just constantly up. They're just constantly going and looking to find more splats, more picks, more damage as we head into the final 10 seconds. A jump coming on in. Are they going to be able to get that into the basket? The basket is open. You know, in overtime, it's gonna have to do a lot. They've got so much time now. That is a good overtime in their favor, because that, you know, gives them a bit more time than your usual overtime. But they've got to get in fast. They've got to head in quickly. 2 players down. Are they gonna get a shooter in time? It's open. The basket is open, but do they
just
have
need
the
one more
clams?
clam?
Do they have the clams?
And then so far,
the wipeout is going to
wipeout.
solidify that game into overtime and game 3 into Ikanabe's favor.
Wow, the script writers are really popping off on this one. I'm gonna tell you what's... Okay, chat, listen to me. What's gonna happen next is that Sao Tome is gonna take this next game, right? And then we go to game 5. The script writers are scripting this, for real.
You know, looking at the map, I could see that. I could see that happen. But it's in a sense, this is the opposite. This is the antinomy of Scorch Gorge, where
Yeah, that's true.
Scorch Gorge, you have your you have your tower in the middle. Crab Leg, you have your towers on the ends of the map. You have your middle completely open, and instead you have some grates. So and as an added bonus, you have some flanks there as well, which I seem to notice aren't exactly present on Scorch Gorge. So there's really a lot of opportunities here for both teams, and Sao Tome just knowing how to use aggression, they could really take this map. And now again, and we're also in the opposite side of what we had last game, where I thought the mode was certainly in Sao Tome's favor, while the map was in Inkanabe's favor. Here, other way around. The mode is in the favor of Inkanabe, and the fact that how well they can control the zone, how well they can control mid, how well they can control large portions of the map for an extended period of time, compared to Sao Tome, who is very good at aggression, very good at getting that very quick and just instant splat, which obviously favors this map. So, you know, this map list is almost sent in heaven for these teams, because, you know, one team is good at the mode, the other team is good at the map. Put them together, it's going to be a battle for overtime.
Yeah, and actually very important to note, so Sao Tome is actually subbing out one of their members for who I believe is Micah, right? And that's going to give them a big advantage, especially when fighting Ikanabe. As we saw in the previous game, actually a lot of their comps are very short ranged. The only thing that has pretty decent range, I would say, is the Dually Sculptures, but that's nothing compared to the Stamper and Charger combo that Ikanabe has. But now with Micah subbing in, we can definitely see Sao Tome pulling out a backline, and that will enable them to kind of be always up, right? Having a backline just ensures that they will be able to control mid, able to control space a lot more easier, and they'll be able to get back up faster, especially considering that, you know, there's always going to be one member that will be trying to stay alive. And yeah, with Micah subbing in, I do think that Sao Tome has a chance to completely flip the tables on Ikanabe here, as having a backline is just really, really strong.
Yeah, particularly on such an open map like this, and I'm really curious to see how much Sao Tome's game plan changes by having, instead of going, you know, full aggro, full aggressive weapons, you have a bit more of a player who decides to fall back, play a bit more objective, play a bit more backline, have that control in the reserve, and just being able to pick players off from a bit of a distance. And really, I'm curious to see how that changes they play. Yes, they're still going to play aggressive. That's not going to change, but it's going to change how the dynamics work in their team.
Yeah. Now, with that said, let's get into the fourth game of this set. Sao Tome pulling out the E-Leader 4K here, which is really strong, as this can allow them to actually control mid a bit more easily.
But it's also going to be met in... It's going to get a met in favor in return, as Ikanabe also brings out the E-Leader in just response.
Yeah, and now we do see Sao Tome getting 2 down and immediately securing this mid zone. We do see the Tri-Slasher getting picked off here, and Ikanabe is quickly collapsing onto the zone. They have 3 members up in mid, and with that Zuka coming out, which was unfortunately... Oh, no. That's 3 members from Sao Tome now coming, dying, and that's a pseudo wipe. Ikanabe is jumping into mid and very quickly taking zone here.
Are they taking zones? It's still in neutral though. Oh, there they go there.
There they go.
Just being able to push the members away from the zone, certainly just allowing them to, just even though it is staying in neutral for such a long time, just, you know, get them away from the zone.
We do see Quill getting a pick of the Zuka here. That's 1 down, and that could be Sao Tome's to actually take a push. But unfortunately, they get stopped by this E-Leader. 2 down from Sao Tome now, and popping that Wave Breaker. Even getting hit with that penalty, that just means that Ikanabe is able to hold zone. With that E-Leader getting finally set up in mid. Ooh. This is gonna be a game. We do see 2 down coming up for Ikanabe, and now it could be Sao Tome in time. Right?
Yeah, Sao Tome taking control of the zone, but only 3 points separate these 2 teams from who will be taking the lead. Both teams suffering a bit of a penalty. Only 10 points remaining in that penalty though for the side of Sao Tome. And the Struga is going to look at trying to get some picks. Isn't going to do anything, but the E-Leader, they're looking to find picks. They're looking to find ways to just get that little bit of an instant splat down
for
the side. of Sao Tome, but are they going to be able to do anything?
Sao Tome getting, actually Micah getting a pick, a cheeky little pick, and that's just gonna stall the push of Ikanabe even more. This Stamper is trying to dive and is trying to force it, but gets picked out by Quill. And this is an amazing hold by Sao Tome coming out here, right? Ikanabe is absolutely... Sao Tome just has an insane lead right now. And Sao Tome, with their their dualies, are just able to stall and actually pick the win. That sub with having Micah coming in was absolutely amazing decision, as that really helped them to have long range control over mid. Wow.
Yeah, it absolutely did. And also, you know, provided a bit of change of how they play. Like, we mentioned this at the start of the game, but, you know, not only to how you play does it change, but it also changes how does your opponent counterpick and counterplay against you. And going with such a vast change to one of your weapons, like going from a complete frontliner to an E-leader, is one of the most significant changes you could ever make. And
yeah,
your opponent just can't expect that, and obviously both teams did pull that out here. But, you know, Sao Tome just being able to capitalize that on even further than the side of Ikanabe.
for sure, yeah.
Setting it 2-all, leading it all.
So now we are getting onto the final game, Umami Ruins. This is a map that's dominated by more long-range weapons like Squeezer, Gal, and CDS, and Stamper, right? And I do think that both Ikanabe might have a slight advantage here due to the nature of their comp, but we'll just have to see what Sao Tome counterpicks for this.
Yeah, you know, with Unami Ruins, I'm expecting to see a pretty much a return from what we saw on the side of Sao Tome. Ikanabe, I don't know if we'll see the E-leader return on the side of them. I feel like they'll switch that back. But Sao Tome, very likely to keep that E-leader going into this final game. But
Sure, yeah.
I'm curious to see. So, you know, I've said in the last two games, you know, map mode, and I'll do my prediction here. I think I can say the mode is in Ikanabe's favor. They won it the first time round. But I can't say for certainty of who owns this map. It is such a difference. It's not really favored to how any of these two teams really play in their playstyle. And we'll see how this turns out to be as we head into the final game of the set.
Yeah, we do see Ikanabe actually picking the Charger here, the ZF Charger, while Sao Tome sticks on that E-leader. And yeah, both teams are roughly running the same comp that they had in the last game. Now, it's an intense fight from mid here. We do have one down from Sao Tome, but it doesn't seem that Ikanabe is going to be making a push yet until they get a few more picks. We do see two going down from the side of Sao Tome though, and this could be the start of there is this fight for mid is kind of intense. Both teams are just trading out picks here, and Ice Clear, the survivability god, but not for long. Ikanabe they have a Zuka, they have two Zukas on this team, and perhaps that's their strategy, right? They're planning to use those two Zukas to potentially mess up that E-leader.
Yeah, they're just trying to really find opportunities, really trying to find movements to break through. Like, even still, like, yes, they're pushing the tower just that tiny bit, but they're not going to be able to do much more, as players are just keeping on going down at one player down at piece, make that two on the side of Sao Tome. But, you know, Ikanabe, they're looking at trying to do some more. Are they going to be capitalized on? They might not be able to, as just Ink is just firing all over that tower, and no real player can just break through that first checkpoint yet. And these teams just looking at firing an opportunity, looking at finding a way to go. Ikanabe trying to take on the first checkpoint, but a Triazuka to the face is certainly going to stop that. And two players are now down on the side of Ikanabe. Sao Tome looking at making their retaliation push. But with not much ink over mid, it's certainly going to take a little bit of time to do so. But getting some splats is certainly going to help.
It's been 2 minutes into the game now, and not a single team has passed by the first checkpoint. But now I have just completely
Commentator's curse.
And yeah, Sao Tome is going 2 down, but they have cleared that first checkpoint, which seems to be kind of the hardest part of what has been cooking.
Yeah, on this map, unlike pretty much every other stage, first checkpoint is by far one of the hardest ones to clear, but being able to defend that against, even clearing through the first checkpoint, just shows the capacity of Ikanabe. And now, with the double try, but the players on the flank, they're not caught out by that. They get taken out. A wipeout is going to certainly do some damage as Ikanabe now. They have a very easy checkpoint, and now that is cleared. Sao Tome, they're not in a great position here. They've been pushed back. They have lost the lead, but 2 players go down on the side of Ikanabe. Make that 3, make that a wipeout!
Ooh.
And Sao Tome, they're now on the counter push. They're back into where Ikanabe was just a few seconds ago.
Yeah, and Sao Tome, they have to push just a little bit more in order to get this. We do see the Trizuka coming out, and they do get a stray pick. They actually... And,
Getting the triple!
Sao Tome is in a very hard-pressed situation right now to take this win. They have about 1:30 to secure those extra points and get back what Ikanabe might get in this push. 2 down coming out from both teams. This is a good opportunity for Sao Tome to get back here. Right? Ikanabe is constantly trying to annoy them, trying to push up, but Sao Tome now becoming a bit wise to the attackers. They're starting to make their counter push. They're aware of the urgency that they have to put into the situation. And
with a minute left on the clock, the urgency couldn't be more intense, especially with their leader going down. Are they going to be able to do some more damage? Are they going to be able to do anything else here? Ikanabe, full players up. Sao Tome, 2 players down. Make that another player going down into the graveyard. They're just trying to find another Zuka splat there. And now Ikanabe, they're trying to do something that gets taken out. Here, they're looking to find anything, looking to stop the push. But this is now the final opportunity for either team to do something. And splats are coming out, but they're not in Sao Tome's favor. Ikanabe is going to clear through the final checkpoint. And with 13 seconds left on the clock, but with 2 players going down, Sao Tome is going to take this into overtime, but they have a long way to go.
they have to push up about 40 points here. And we do see Ice has a crab. If he can get set that on silo, but 2 players are going down from Sao Tome, and that might just kill the push. If Sao Tome, well, that's it. I have no words. That was an insane showing from both teams. Ikanabe really pulled up on that last game and really showed Sao Tome who's boss. Wow.
I can tell you're lost for words there.
I don't even know what to say, man.
Yeah, just Sao Tome, they had that last push going against them, and Ikanabe just went full send, just delivered that tower straight through the final checkpoint, just being able to get those splats, being able to take control, being able to use specials to such a well, not necessarily always getting the splats, but just being able to push the players away to allow Ikanabe to do the things they wanted to do. And that's what really set the scene there. There was really no wipeouts at the end. There wasn't 3 players down in that final push. It was the fact that they were being able to use their specials in a way that gave them control, in a way that allowed them to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. That was an intense set to start off with, and I hope that gives everyone an idea of what will be going down for the rest of this tournament, right?
Yeah, this is only round 1.
This is only round 1, and yet
in.
we're getting such a tense set coming out from both, or set already coming. So, moving on, our next game. Today, for our next game, we will be watching Give Me Clam versus the Greasy Goblins. Now, if I have to remind everyone, the Greasy Goblins are this year's 2023 AUNZ champions, and they will be going to Tokyo. So we once again we also have Give Me Clam coming out from who's Give Me Clam coming out from? Give Me Clam is coming out from the Simplified Chinese Community, if I'm not wrong, and they had recently won one of their qualifier tournaments for this invitational.
Yeah, so, you know, Greasy Goblins, like, they took their last set 3-0. Gimme Clams took it 3-1. So both these teams, like, they showed themselves how strong they are in the last set. So then going into this game, we know Greasy Goblins is sure. We saw them live on stage just a few short weeks ago. But now they're going against they're
unknown opponent.
Yeah, like they know the OC, like we know at the moment they're the top of the AUNZ. But when you start touching countries where, you know, you don't
really
you don't really get these representational in the global scene of Splatoon. There's obviously you got the 4 major regions, but it's going to be really interesting to see, like, yes, you're not a major region. Sure, that's fine. That doesn't mean the players are any less worse than what you might get. And it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really watching out to see if, you know, Greasy Goblins, we could potentially be seeing a upset coming out from Give Me Clam against the Greasy Goblins here. That would be definitely something interesting to watch.
Yeah, like well, I don't really need to reintroduce the members of Greasy Goblins. You got Link, Raimi, Nex, Hazard, Latius, Give Me Clams. You got Ani, Aka, Ami, Ame. Like I love the synergy.
The synergy is crazy.
Their
this
names
could be a
like that.
Splatfest team.
Yeah, it could be a Splatfest. You got Ani, Aka, Ami, Ama. Like, you have a great. I love teams that just have that synergy between them. It not only just shows how good terms you are on with your teammates, but it also can show that you are a team. You do know how to play with each other, and you're not just, you know, you're not just a pickup, and obviously we know that, but you're also not just a team coming in for the sake of coming in. You're here to make something happen. You're here not just for this tournament. You're here for the long run, and you know, it'll be interesting to see. What else can I say?
Yeah, for sure. So with that said, I believe all the players are in the room, and we'll be very quickly getting into the first game of this semi-final set. So we are playing on Humpback Pump Track. And this is honestly a very interesting pick. It really comes down to whether the teams actually know how to play this. This is one of the few maps where having good map knowledge and having a defined strategy for this one will actually turn the tides, right? I think I've mentioned on stream a few times before, not on this stream, but like, you know, that side control on this map is especially important if they can run you know, a skirmisher who constantly goes for the sides. That could really just make the other team panic, and it could give the team an advantage. So with that being said, let's get into this match. Greasy Goblins versus Give Me Clam.
And we're gonna see, oh, I'm very interested by the side of Give Me Clams. Gonna bring out not only the Dynamo, but the Heavy as well, bringing a lot of backline to a very otherwise aggressive map. It's such a interesting pick and not something we usually see here.
Yeah, for sure. And we actually also do see Nex pulling out his signature weapon. The 3100 XP Sploosh Go. He's pulling out his weapon. Yeah.
Indeed, and with all 2 players going on down, make that 3 players down on the side of
DC
Gimme
Goblins
Clam.
is quickly getting set up for their push here. They have a crab on checkpoint. We do see this whale coming out, and yeah, the crab user dies. We have the sploosh with this hammer, and if they're smart, they can use this hammer to really easily take space on this plat here, right? DC Goblins are already getting set up for a push. They have a complete wipeout, and they have a clean path to this checkpoint. So Gimme Clam not gonna go down without a fight. That 52 gal is pushing up just to secure space. It doesn't seem that Greasy's gonna let up just because of that.
No, they're gonna still try and make some more damage, but 3 players going down on the side of the Greasy Goblins. Now, Gimme Clam, they're gonna let that Rainmaker reset back into mid, but they're not. They're gonna have to do more than that, as the Rainmaker is already popped in back to the favor of the Greasy Goblins. Gimme Clams, they need to get specials, they need to get turf, and they need to get picks, and they need to do it fast.
Yeah, for sure. So now it's Gimme Clam's time to actually get set up for a push. They have 4 players up, and we do see the Greasy Goblins already popping their tri-strikes just to get some ground back. 2 people, unfortunately, coming out and dying. Now 3 from Gimme Clam, and it does seem like it is Greasy Goblin's defense here. They have that charger, just providing insane pain. We do see this gal, though, immediately trying to come up, but gets pressured out immediately by those burst bombs. 2 going down from the side of Greasy Goblins. It seems that this will be Gimme Clam's push. 2 down from both sides now. Actually, 3, and it's just the gal left to solo hold this checkpoint.
Oh, but they solo hold, they do, getting the pop and still getting splats to their name, and 3 players are now down on the side of the Greasy Goblins. Gimme Clam,
Greasy Goblins
pushing that
to get a
Rainmaker.
defense. They pick the Rainmaker off, but now they have to contend with the rest of the teams here. 3 down from the side of Greasy Goblins. They really need to stall for time. They really need to hold here. That Rainmaker is still unpopped, giving the rest of the team members crucial time to respawn and get back up. We do see Larias here holding this checkpoint, holding that Rainmaker in that position, and that Dynamo just sitting beneath her and trying to, be in a general annoyance, right? A wipeout now coming out, and this is Greasy Goblin's chance to show them that, hey, nah, we ain't letting this happen. Remy is taking the Rainmaker all the way to the side for a secure push to that checkpoint, and just in general to put the Rainmaker in a really bad spot for the other team, right? He's the team members to come in mid and just get picks, actually kind of using the Rainmaker as a distraction. That gal is trying to get some cheeky fall off there, but it's not gonna work. And they have to get the pick with the Zuka.
The Zuka delivers, and now they're going to look at, but the hammer comes in from behind.
That was an insane play. Link was distracting them, just waiting for Nex to come out and play with that hammer. Wow, I have no words. That was some crazy coordination there. And it seems now that it's Greasy Goblin's turn to actually get their push going. They have the paint favor in mid. Actually, I might be wrong here. They might not have the paint favor. That Dynamo is getting pushed out. That gal just respawning. And Greasy Goblins having a minute left to spare. If they can really just hold it at this one checkpoint and just stall for time, that could be their win here. Gimme Clam though, not gonna let up without a fight. But we do see Greasy Goblins not letting up their fight as well. And they're using their specials to pressure Gimme Clam to stay in their base.
Yeah, again now, 30 seconds left on the clock. Rainmaker resets back to the middle of the map. Greasy Goblins have control over the pop. They take it, but Gimme Clam, they have players, they have specials, and they ready to do damage. The Rainmaker gets picked up. 10 seconds left into overtime. The Rainmaker is gonna go back into the base, but it gets taken out. And now, Gimme Clam, if they can get the splash, if they can get the pick, here comes the Kraken. Are they gonna
pick it and go? If they get this pop, that might be their win. But Greasy Goblins with the uncontested pop power. The tables really turned in a matter of seconds there. It seemed like Gimme Clam had that pop going for them, but Greasy Goblins were like, nah, ain't happening. And they just secured that win out of nowhere. Like, well, not out of nowhere.
Yeah, like the the thing they had there, they had the height advantage. Like, yes, you had players that died near the Rainmaker, but they had that bit of height advantage, and also the fact that the Dynamo also ran out of ink does not help, as the Dynamo was providing that most amount of damage onto the Rainmaker shield. So, you know, losing your ink in the last few seconds of the game certainly is not going to be the position you want to be in. And now, game 1 going to the favor of the Greasy Goblins. Museum D'Alfonsino, we see you again, my old friend. This time, there's some clams I need to collect of you.
Wow. So, we're coming into this map mode for the second time today. What do you think about these two teams on this map? Actually, wait, no. We're seeing this map for the first time today. No, this mode for the first time today.
Look, we're seeing...
you know what?
Let me say it for you. Let me say it for you. We're seeing this map mode combination for the first time today, but not the map. We have seen the map.
We haven't seen the map. Yeah, that is true. Well, I think starting off this game, Greasy Goblins, as you know, they have a really hold kind of play style, right? And I think that that's actually going to be really important on this map. So let's get into it. Let's see. We do see double Zuka, double shot coming out. That is a lot of bomb firepower as compared to Give Me Clam, which only has 2 real bombs coming out. Ooh, I wonder how they're going to play this.
Yeah, double shot is definitely a statement and a half coming out, and just, you know, when you have 2 shots to your name, you have not only so much aggression you bring out, not only the weapon, but the special as well. And already one of those shots coming online and coming out and trying to find some picks, not able to find anything, however, it is going to provide that little bit of dynamic over mid, going to give Greasy Goblins a bit of early control there, but the retaliation, Zuka is going to push them back as Dynamo goes down, make that Explosher as well. Greasy Goblins, now they have control, but 2 players go down back onto their side, and the favor is switched back into their favor.
Yeah, Greasy Goblins, as I mentioned, they are a whole team. Having that pencil is actually going to be really strong on this map to fight against pushes. Having that pencil set up gives them so much pain. And having that splash instead of the Dynamo as well will also give them extra aggression. Having a crab will definitely be good, and running pencil gives them that tacticaler instead of having, you know, it just gets them more aggression, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now we do see Greasy Goblins coming in with a flank here. They have the Zuka. They get counter Zuka by Give Me Crab. And that crab is just getting double Zuka here. They really need to play, both teams really need to be playing safe here. 1 minute 30 into the game, and neither team has made a significant push into the other team's base.
They haven't made a significant push, neither have they made any form of clam push yet, and just trying to find 2 but
we
2
could,
players
we could be seeing
down.
this happening right now. We do see Whiteout coming up from Give Me Clam, and Greasy Goblins has enough clams to form a ball. They have that Zuka set up on the spinner, and that's going to be an incredible hold position. If we have this crab, that's if we have the splash really close to crab here, we could actually see them get this hold here. They just need to hold the clam basket for open a bit longer, and they could get the power cannon, but it doesn't seem like it'll be happening. Greasy Goblins, though, undeterred, and they're still going to be getting picks. They're still going to be converging onto this platform. That's going to be a very difficult push. Converge. It's going to be a very difficult push for them to get back into mid on the side of Give Me Clam. We do see 2 members already coming down. The Clam basket is down, and Greasy might be seeing his second push of the game coming out here. Ooh. Did I just commentator's curse that? No shot.
No, they might do something, but the Dynamo is certainly going to provide a bit of damage, going to have that instant control over that area of the map, and that is going to be the end of any form of aggression happening over there. And now, Give Me Clam, they're trying to find opportunities, but they've only got 4 clams to their name. They need to do something more. They need to get something to their name. They need to have something happen, and with players going down...
We do have a flank coming out. Now, Give Me Clam has broken the barrier, but Greasy with that 1 clam lead. All Greasy needs to do right now is get a push, which they are already setting up for. They are cornering the rest of the members on their plot. They are playing around the spinner, and both teams are a bit of a standstill here. And we do see Greasy popping that crab, popping that Zuka, and that might be their cue to get this push off. Greasy has a few power crabs already, and they even have a one on flat. This looks like it might get scored in, which it has. And wow, Greasy is showing why they are the top team in AU right now. They are getting this push. They are getting an insane lead from 77 all the way down to 30. That is an insane push no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, they're just trying to do something happen, and two players again going down on the side of Gimme Clan with 50 seconds left onto the clock. Might be a struggle for them to make any sort of push, with two players then going back down in retaliation of the Greasy Goblins. Just showcase how push and pull this map is, how push and pull this entire dynamic is, how push and pull this entire game is. 30 seconds left on the clock. Zuka nearly coming online. Zuka is coming online on the enemy side, and then in retaliation, neither are gonna find splats with their special. And
one down though, coming out, and this could be Greasy's defense, right? It seems that neither team has a good clan economy here, which is kind of ironic given that, you know, their name is literally Give Me Clan, but they are not. They've not been given clan.
They're not indeed, and they don't have the players either. 3 players down is certainly going to halt any form of push. The clan is going to jump back to the base, and with no one even touching the enemy's base, that will be the game 2. I won't say I'm Nah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, game 2.
There we go.
Going to the Greasy Goblins.
No, that game was a really wow. They're asking for clams in vain. That's crazy. But that game it really shows how Greasy Goblins plays. Like, they are the hold goats. They hold space so well, and even if you think, oh, I can take this, it's my time, it's in my favor. No, it's not. They're just there. They're sharking you. Watch out. You are not safe. They are in your walls.
Indeed. No. Well, that's what goblins do, right?
That's what goblins do, yeah. Well, next up we have Wahoo World Splat Zones, and I do think this is a map that will be a bit of a tug of war here. Both teams have really good paint comps. You saw coming out. You have the Expulsor and Dynamo coming out, but you also have the pencil double shot as well. So I do think both teams might be a bit evenly matched on this one. It really is a matter of just game sense, right? If the teams know when to flank. And yeah, what do you have to say about this one?
Wahoo World, it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. The fact that, you know, there's a lot of ways to go into mid. You know, you have the bridge that's permanently open. You have your glass route over the right. You have, and it's a mixed bag, because since the rotator at the bottom, it doesn't rotate. Like, half the flank option that is the appealing factor of Wahoo World is kind of gone in a sense. And to me, that kind of... this kind of shouts to me in the favor of Greasy Goblins a bit. Because, you know, although in saying that, you know, we've seen Gimme Clam, they've brought out the double backline twice in a row. The first game, it was, Dynamo and Heavy. And then just then, we saw Dynamo and Explo. So, they have weapons from the backline that can provide a lot of turf just from a range. But that's not to discredit Latias's Pencil, which, you know, Pencil is one of the best backline painting weapons in the game, and in fact one of the best weapons overall in the current metagame. So it's going to be really interesting, because I think this type of mode, backline support is very much favored, but there are still opportunities for a good frontliner to come around and flank, particularly with what we just saw on the side of Greasy Goblins come out with a double shot. And I have a feeling they'll come back again knowing that. So, because they went into the first game not knowing they had that double backline, they went into the second game knowing they had the double backline, and having those shots, those Zukas, just being able to instantly take down those backlines. I believe that is probably one of the reasons they switched to that. And that almost makes me worried for these backlines, because Wahoo World, while yes, backlines are great, when you're going against the Zuka to the face, it is a straight shot from mid onto your face.
Yeah, for sure. I do think, Greasy Goblins is one of the most adaptable teams ever. They adapt like on the fly, right? They are the specimens, like for real. And like honestly speaking, I think they will definitely find a way to adapt to this. Like, what's scarier than an enemy? An enemy that adapts. And that's precisely what Greasy Goblins is doing right now. They are learning on the fly what Give Me Clam is doing. And they're just like, yep, not, that's not happening. Nuh-uh, right? And yeah, I think, and you have to keep in mind, Greasy Goblins has a lot of options when it comes to their weapon pools as well. Depending on like the map and the mode and what they want to adapt to, they can definitely like play a lot of things that they want. Yeah, you have Link. You saw his range. He can play Blob. He can play Slosher. He can play Shot. And Nex as well. Not to mention, Nex is the undisputed best flex in I think all of OCE right now, and he's really strong at most of the weapons he plays. So that's definitely going to pose a challenge to Give Me Clam, and I do think that the deciding factor for this game in particular, or well, this set, well, actually, this game determines the set, so, but both, the deciding factor will definitely be whether Give Me Clam is able to just kind of change up their strategy a bit. If they can move away from the double backline, which worked so well against Storm in a Teacup, then they might stand a chance against Greasy Goblins here.
Yeah, this, like, yes, Greasy Goblins, we've seen them quite cleanly take those first two games. And if you're a Give Me Clam, you're in a worried scenario here as you're heading into the final game. But you're not out of options, you're not out of hope, and you still have opportunities. Then I'm seeing quite of a different comp change come out from the side of Greasy Goblins here.
Ooh, wow. Okay, so we do see an Ink Brush next, pulling out that Ink Brush in what I think might be a BM pick, but, well, he is the flex, so I can't even play it. We do see Nex instantly farming for the for Whale here, which was really annoying. And he's really just being a skirmisher, right? Both teams are popping specials here. And Greasy Goblins will next just going in for the flank and just messing up Give Me Clam's defenses. We do see a flank now from the side of Give Me Clam, but it doesn't seem to be working out particularly well.
No, it does not, and Dynamo is gonna just provide that bit of turf from that bit of safety over there, but Greasy Goblins just retaking control so quickly. But now, with only Latias as the last player left alive, and an E-Leader's not gonna be able to take control of the zone on their own, is gonna be the zone flip into the favor of Give Me Clam, and now they have the opportunity to take control, to take their turf, to get specials online for them to retake the lead. But a Crab is going to come out from the side of Greasy Goblins, going to make that difficult. Zone is going to go into neutral, but they're going to be able to hold it and take lead. Yes, they are! And now, Give Me Clam, they have something going for them. They have something to live for. They have something to push for. The Greasy Goblins taking back control. They're not going to allow them to retake it so easily.
Yeah, for sure. And like this double backline comp here is really good at holding zone. So now that Give Me Clam has actually secured the zone, they can just hold. Unfortunately, Nex is gonna be going up into their face and just providing a bit of a distraction. Now it's Greasy Goblin's turn to actually hold zone here. And we do see this E-Leader just standing there and being kind of a watchful guard for Greasy Goblins, right? Give Me Clam is attempting to take zone now. They pop Rain, they have a Tacticooler, and they are going to be contesting zone. They are rapidly moving up. But now we do see 2 down coming down from Give Me Clam, and Greasy Goblins is now just running away with it. Greasy Goblins has popped Tacticooler, and it seems that it's in Give Me Clam's court now, and they have to make a move fast. 20 seconds left, and it doesn't seem like they'll be... Oh, they do flip zone in an interesting turn of events, and now Greasy Goblins is getting forced out. Unfortunately, the rebound though coming out from Give Me Clam, and unfortunately, the zone will flip back into Greasy Goblins' favor.
Oh, I would say pretty much a triple there. Coming out from the brush is certainly going to give a lot of damage on the side of Gimme Clam. You know, they had control of the zone for a few seconds, but Greasy Goblins just taking that back so quickly, so fast, and just not even giving Gimme Clan a sliver of hope there. And now they've cleared their penalty. We're going to see things go on to zone. Are they going to take it over?
9
Slosher
seconds
is
left.
just holding
they
it.
have to take the zone right now. They have to make a move. 4 seconds. They have the crab set up, and it seems that is the game. Greasy Goblins wins this set with a 3-0 sweep. Wow, the Greasy Goblins are just really showing why they're the GOATs. Like,
they won the AUNZ champs for a reason, and the reason is right here in orange and blue as they take it 3-0 home and solidify their spot in the grand finals. But Gimme Clam, we're not saying goodbye to them just yet, as they're gonna find themselves in the 3rd place match.
yeah. So, for those unaware, this time we will be looking at we will be having a finals and 3rd place match, which both sets should ideally be streamed. So, yeah, just a refresher. So, the map pools, right? There are actually some maps that we haven't actually seen come out yet. What maps are you interested to see out of this pool, DJam?
I am interested to see. I'm looking here. Probably I'm interested to see. Ooh, I'm interested to see Clam's Brine Water. It's definitely an interesting one here. Not one you see very often in competitive play, just of how quickly you can go from 100 to 0. And what else am I interested to see? Looking here, scanning through. Rainmaker Undertow is always a bit of a fun one to play around with. As well as Shipshake Zones is definitely a very interesting one, with just the amount of height elevation just present on purely the zone. I think those are going to be one of the more interesting map modes to see if we get to see them today. But, you know, other than that, all the others are, you get to see them a lot in competitive play. Generally, people know and understand how the counterplay works, what you should pick, and what do you specialize with on those types of mode.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me personally, I'm more interested to see. I'm actually really interested to see, like, I gotta collect my thoughts, bro. Hold on. I'm really interested to see Mekomart and Mahi Zones. Mahi Zones is a really competitive and flip map, which is very interesting to see in a competitive setting. And Mako Zones is just a map where a lot of people are strong. Yeah. So, anyway, I've just received word that the other now is currently going on. They're on their 2nd game, and that means that the 3rd place match will not be going on for just a bit. So we might take a little break here, and we'll see the 3rd place match begins. If you're interested in watching the not 3rd place match, the match between Ikanabe and Yati Yags, otherwise known as Solstice, I'll drop the stream link in the chat right now. Hold on. So you can go watch that while we take a small break. on that one. There we go. There's the stream link. So with that said, we'll be taking a little bit of a break, and yeah, hope to see you guys. Welcome back, guys, to the Frostbite Invitational. We're moving into the second half of the tournament today. Right now, we're going to be looking at the third place match. And then after this third place match, we'll be getting a look at the finals as well. So, how are you feeling, DJam? How do you feel about this tournament?
It's been quite it's been a journey. It's been interesting to see how different regions battle it out against each other, and another region's gonna battle it out for the third place match as we dive into a best of 7. Gimme Clan with Ani, Aka, Ami, and Amer against Yahtzee Yegs. Unfamiliar name, but certainly a familiar team. Curbjack, Geo, and Biscuit. What do you think?
What am I thinking? I actually think both of these teams seem fairly equally matched in my eyes. We saw Give Me Clam's previous strategy in the last few games where they were running that double backline comp, which could really mess up Yahtzee Yegs as looking from what they've seen, looking from what they've pulled out, are relatively short ranged weapons. So, with that said, we'll be getting into this first game relatively quickly. And we're going to be playing on Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort. Now, we're going to look at the comps here. The Gimme Clam is running their signature double backline comp, and Yahtzee Legs running that triple shooter, double shot, singular splash with triple sub-savers. Wow.
That's not something you see every day. Definitely an interesting pick coming out there. As we're going to see a mid going straight into the favor of Gimme Clams as they take first control of the zone, but they get straight back centered to neutral here. You know, trying to find opportunities, trying to find moments, trying to find ways to push the route. As Gimme Clams, they take control again, and 3 players going down on the eggs. Gimme Clam, they have opportunities, they have control, they just need to hold it.
Yeah. Now, Gimme Clam is in a very favorable position. As we mentioned before, having a double backline on their team makes it so they have an insane hold game. They can just hold mid however long they want, because having double backline just means it's really difficult for them for Yegs to push in at all, right? Yegs here though, with their crab coming out, and with this Zuka can really mess up the backliner. We do see a pick on the Dynamo, we do see a pick on the T-Tech. It's just the Explo, and the Explo is trying to back off. They don't come into the fight, and Jack just immediately picks them off. Yahtzee Yegs setting up for an insane hold here.
Setting up for a hold and looking to keep it on. Already heading close to the territory of taking the lead, and there it is. Lead is now in the Yegs' favor. Gimme Clams, they need to take control, and the tri-strikes on to zone will certainly send that into neutral, but are they going to be able to follow it up with some turf? Are they going to be able to follow with some picks? Yes, they are. Say yes to both. Get them off the chest. As Santa said it twice, and 3 players go down on the side of the Yegs. Say, Gimme Clam, they have control, and they're looking at getting the lead.
We're really gonna see how Yegs is gonna react in this situation. Having this comp means that they know they have to use Zuka to their best advantage here. Having that double backline is gonna really make it difficult. So their intention is to use that double Zuka to scare the backlines off and actually get picks on them. 2 down though, coming out from the side of Yegs, and 2 down coming down from the side. Actually, oh, full wipeout coming from the side of Yegs now. Gimme Clam is going to be in the advantage here. They can really set up and kind of just be a thorn in their side when they're trying to get a pushback. Having a Dynamo Roller just means that they can sit under that ledge and actually really mess up Yegs if they're trying to get their pushback by surprising them.
Yeah, and just, you know, there's constant damage, there's constant turf, and seeing the double special come out from the side of the Yegs here, and they take control of the zone very fiercely with that. But now, oh, the Zuka goes down with their special, fully charged there. Great pick there from the side of the Yegs. The zone is going to stay in control of Gimme Clams, and now they're trying to find something. They need to do anything. Zone is going to lose control and regain it back in the side of Gimme Clams. But the Eggs here, they've been pushed back all the way down to their base, and now they've got to do something. The clam, the crab, is at the ready. It is ready to fire, but with them being the only one left alive, they're going to need to use it to just push away the members, but every single member is gunning on them, and no one can survive that.
The Eggs here are in a really tough spot in 8 seconds, 7, 5. They have to get zoned now, and it flipped for a moment, but it was not enough.
No, getting the 3 strikes onto the zone is your well and true. It's your passport to guaranteed win in that type of scenario. Placing it on that late, you have a few points left to tick. It is just solidifying. It's like, hey, this is mine. This is my territory. Here are the papers to give you damn proof. And here is my ticket, solidifying game 1.
They had that land deed over Mahi Mahi Resort locked in that vault, and they were not letting the Yeggs heist it. Like, damn. Well, up next, we have Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy. What do you think of this pick, DJam?
Well, you know, property is certainly high in demand here, but definitely in a bit of a different sense here. You know, Inkblot Art Academy, a staple of competitive Splatoon. Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control, like you see in options where teams get to counterpick, this is by far the most beloved one to see it counterpicked. In fact, if counterpicks are open in a map list, you're generally going to see this every round. So if this is your first time dipping in a competitive, welcome to the home of competitive, Inkblot Art Academy.
Yeah, Inkblot Art Academy. This is a very interesting pick. Actually, not really pick. This is a very interesting map mode to actually play around. I believe it's the first time we've seen this on the tournament today. And yeah, we're gonna be getting into this really quickly. Yahtzee Eggs and Gimme Clam pulling out their double backline, and Yahtzee Eggs actually pulling out the Octobrush Noval. Wow. This is not a comp I really expected, but I do think that having that Octobrush will benefit them greatly. We did see in the previous games that Yags actually tended to get wiped out a lot, and this map is a lot bigger than Mahi Mahi Resort. So having those beacons will be actually downright crucial to ensuring that they have a sustained aggression. We do see 3 down coming down from the side of Give Me Clam, and it's Yahtzee Eggs making the first push.
You're talking about aggression here, and we're just seeing that plain and simple from the Brush early on, getting that flank and getting those splats, but they are now going to go down. Curb living their life in the afterlife, and now just trying to find ways, trying to find picks. They head up to the second checkpoint here, but you know, with no control over mid, they're not going to be able to clear that, and the shot being the only one left alive, their position well and truly known from the whole team using that Trizuka. But for a minute down here on Inkblot Art Academy, and a well and truly good first push coming out from the side of the Eggs.
Yeah, the Yeggs are immediately back up after going 3 down, actually a pseudo wipeout. They have their specials, and they are actually ready to defend this checkpoint. They have that Zuka popped out. 2 down, though, and it's going to be a bit of a difficult defense here for them to take. We do see that Give Me Clam has gotten that checkpoint. We do see the Zuka getting a pick, and Give Me Clam just does not care. They're still pushing. Yags really needs to get this shot out of their base. They really need to ensure that they have a clean push into mid, as that shot is just being a thorn in their side right now. Fight on the stack, and we do see Yags getting 2 down. Ooh, that was a clean pick from them. Yags though going 3 down now, 3 down from both sides, and it's just the Brush and the Explosion. The Brush is gonna be getting taken down by Explosion, and actually securing a trade. And now Yags is in the position to defend once again. They get the pick on the Zuka. They get a trade off with that other shooter. And immediately, this is gonna be, it's gonna be difficult to get into. Both teams are kind of in a stalemate right now. They're both just fighting back and forth from mid. It's pretty difficult.
It's definitely difficult indeed. They're going to do more than just trade to make any sort of movement here. And a great defense there, just stopping Curve in their tracks from making that flank onto the plat there. And great stop. And Zuka is going to come out, seeing the members there, going to try and do anything. Nothing is going to come out of that there. 2 players down on the side of Yegs and Gimme Clams. They're now looking for an opportunity to counter push. They're looking for ways to break through. They're looking for specials to hold to their name. And with a player going down on both sides, something is going to happen. 2 players go down on the side of Yegs. Gimme Clam. They're in that second checkpoint. They've retaken the lead. And they're looking at pushing that checkpoint into clear. And yes, they do.
Wow, we do see that Yegs gets a wipeout, but now it's up to them to make this final push. Not even final push. This push in the last minute. They have 3 specials. They are popping that Zuka. They are popping that Rain. Just to preemptively get onto that plat. Securing plat control. Securing bat control here is going to be utterly important, right? Having that control over bats will allow them to kind of spawn. We do see a flank coming out here. That ballpoint being extremely receptive though, and keeping that shooter just at bay. And not even shooter. That was a dynamo. Wow. And we do see 2 down already coming out, but it seems that Gimme Clam is actually running away with the tower right now. Yegs has to make up for this disruption in their push. And yeah, we do see 2 down coming down from the side of Gimme Clam again. Yegs has to make this push right now, last 30 seconds. If they fail this push, there might not be another opportunity for this, for them to make this. Encroaching on that point lead right now. They do take the lead, and now it's just their job to keep pushing that lead and possibly have to defend if they lose the tower.
Yeah, and you said, they take the lead. They got to do more than that if they want to retake and keep on holding. They're just keeping on going. They're keeping members there. They're keeping players around there, just everywhere, and overtime has begun, and it is a long way to go, but unfortunate for them, the player was not that far away just to hop onto that tower and take it into their favor, giving the second game, I should say, to Yahtzee Yegs.
Yeah, that was an insane game. Like, that really was kind of back and forth in the first few minutes of the game. And just at the end, Yahtzee Yegs was like, nah, Thanos snapped. It's our push now. Get out of here. And yeah, they secured the win pretty quickly. So now we'll be moving on to Undertow Spillway with Rainmaker. This mode is pretty interesting. You have a uninkable section yet again. But this map is a very fast-paced map. It really depends who can make this first push here. But as I said, it is a very fast-paced map, and it's very prone to switching. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what these 2 teams bring out here. I'm not really sure what we might see just because of how different all 3 of these map modes have been, right? We've had Mahi, such a closely knit map. And then we've had Inkblot, which has your twists and turns, but is very unlinear in a sense.
Yeah.
Undertow, it has a bit of twists and turns, but it's very, very linear, especially for Rainmaker. The fact that you can go very straight, and even going off to the left, it's still very straight. So we have 3 modes here, 3 maps, I should say, that have had such a different playstyle. It's really showcasing what each of these 2 teams are capable of.
Yeah, so let's get into this and see what both teams are gonna do on this map mode. We do see double backline coming out again with a double shot. And at one pick, you don't really see very often the heavy deco. I do reckon that having a Kraken on this map will be good to force chokes. And yeah, having that snapper on the side of Salsus. 2 down already coming down from Give Me Clam, and Salsus is making an immediate push. This Heavy is in no position to stop that push. The Yahtzee Eggs is running away with it right now. They secured that checkpoint, and they are setting up for a very quick push. Wow.
And they're gonna keep it on, continue with another wipeout straight there. It's gonna allow for a very quick, very easy KO as they get the third game.
Showing why they are the bosses. Holy, I am left speechless. I didn't even have any time to build up like anxiety on that game, man. Wow.
Yeah, just being able to just deliver that Rainmaker. They were Amazon Prime, just getting that all the way, 1-day delivery straight to the pedestal.
Amazon Prime is crazy, bro. They got that same day delivery, same minute delivery of that Rainmaker to the recipient. That was actually an insane game. Now, for the next game, we're gonna be going back to Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. Now, the teams this time are different, so what do you think will happen?
Okay. Okay, so that game, Yahtzee Eggs, they brought aggression. Well and truly. So, Glam Blitz, Yahtzee Eggs, that's their mode. That's what I'm saying here. Now, the map. That is the real one that's up for debate. Like who I do think Gimme Clam has a bit more, because as we saw in the first game, it's such a push and pull in terms of how this map mode works. It is constantly a battle over mid, and I think just Gimme Clams, just with that bit more backline support, might just come out on top. But if Yahtzee Eggs just can really, we saw how well they can play with a brush. If they can just capitalize on those people who can use those weapons to its fullest capabilities, then they just might come out on top here.
Yeah, both teams actually running the exact same comp here, and I do think this map can go either way. With Yags having their really aggressive comp here, and that's gonna give them a lot of ease into, like, if they pushed up, right? Getting one push off would be absolutely devastating for Giving Clam. But on the other hand, Giving Clam has insane hold power right now. Like, it's gonna be pretty difficult for Yags to even get that first push off in the first place. So it really is a matter of who can move first and who can move faster. As you said before, as you said before, if you fail on this map, you die. And it seems that this time Yags is faltering and folding almost immediately. Giving Clam is folding and collapsing on both sides, and they are quickly dunking Clams in here.
Yeah, Biscuit is going to have to almost waste that inkjet just to push away the members of Give Me Clam, just to, give them a bit of extra control, and, like, not really going to find much value out of it other than just, going to give that bit of control, going to give them a bit of defense. And now 3 players are down on the side of Give Me Clam. That's going to allow the Yegs to have just regain control over mid, regain some of their presence, and just show why they're such a dominating force, why they're able to get picks, why they're able to get splats, why they're able to do so much damage against teams. And now with both shots, both Zookas available and online, 3 specials to their name. Double Zooka's going to come out immediately, but is only going to... Oh, no, I take that back. 2 picks to their name, and 1 jumping out is certainly now going to give the Yegs a lot of control, as well as another player going down. They have to do something here. They have a lot of control. They have clams. They have something. Are they going to get it in? 1 player goes down. The power clam, are they going to get it in? Yes, they are. But are they going to get it take the lead? You're going to see the Ninja's going to try and go into the base, try and do some damage, but nothing is going to come out of that, as a great defense from Give Me Clam is going to keep them in the lead 50-60.
Yeah, and honestly, this matchup is already shaping up to be a pretty close game. Both teams are roughly evenly timed score. Just 1 push from either team can really secure them the win here. So it'll be very interesting to see how the rest of this match will play out. We do see that Yags is immediately taking no prisoners, right? And they have gotten 3 down. Unfortunately, Give Me Clam is coming back quickly and giving Yags no time to push. Yegs is gonna have to make another play here if they want to get another push off. They do get two people down, and this could be the start of their push. If they don't fold to this Zuka, they have that jet pop, and they're gonna quickly secure this corridor for the basket. Unfortunately, the person with the power clamp is getting caught out and is unfortunately forced to throw it out just for a little bit, delaying the push. And the Yags getting 2 down on both sides. It seems that neither team is in a position to take an advantage right now. We're playing the neutral game. And the Yags are, both teams are pretty evenly tied. The Yags do seem to be a bit more set up. They have a special, they have a Zuka online and primed and ready to go. And really, it's up to which team makes the first move here to see who will get the first push.
Yeah, we're just constantly pushing and pulling against each other, trying to find who can have the better control, who can get the splats, who can get the fix and curb behind enemy lines. Are they gonna find anything? No, they aren't. Is it gonna get sent back to their jump spot here? Biscuit is sitting back there with the ballpoint and the inkjet ready to pop when they feel to do so, but they're gonna need to do it at some point where it's going to have a lot of value. And, you know, having 3 players down on the side of Gimme Clams is now going to allow the Yahtzee Yegs to really gain control of a mid, really get a lot of clams to their name, and look at eyeing at pushing the basket on in. And there it is. The basket is broken, but is there going to be any follow-up there? They don't have any clams here. The shot is the only one left alive, and that will be the end of their push. 36 seconds left on the clock. Only one power clam separates these two teams in terms of points. If a power clam goes in as well as a regular clam, that will be the lead. But the Yahtzee Yegs going a pseudo wipeout there, that could be devastating for them.
Yeah, we see Gimme Clam already setting up for the push. They're telling Solstice, nah, this ain't happening. You're trying to push, we're getting this push off instead. And they're really, Gimme Clam is really dominating them right now. They are showing that they have the clams. They got given clams. They have clam economy, and that's the game for Gimme Clam. Solstice failed that initial push when they were trying to tie the score, and that just let Gimme Clam. That gave Gimme Clam an extra pity, and it let them seal the deal and get their final push off. Now, both teams still have 2 more games to actually play before we can determine the winner of the set, as this is a BO7, so both teams still have a long way to go. Yeah,
and it's like now left into this. It's a best of 5 now left, essentially. Best of 3 left, as 2 more wins will determine who will move in and slot themselves into 3rd place. Shipshape cargo zones. You know, CoCo, you've been asking me a lot today about what I think. I'm gonna flip the tables on you. What do you think? What do you think here?
Well, as you mentioned, this is one of the maps that you are like really looking forward to see, right? And you know, I really have to.
Don't you turn this back on me? I'm asking you.
No. I really do have to agree here. I think that a wealth of strategies can really happen on this map, and you know, you have that high ground in mid, and unlike Inkblot, you know, you have that tower in mid on Inkblot. But for this map, it's you have to go through the gorge, TM, and I think whichever team is able to break through that point and actually move up into the enemy team's base will be really strong here. I honestly think that a tactic cooler will be really valuable for both teams here, right? As I mentioned, breaking through that gorge the initial time will be very difficult. So having a tactic cooler will enable both teams to kind of just have a bit more uptime, I suppose, on if they're on the other side, and make sure that their deaths aren't as punishing, right? To me, this map will be, I think it'll be a pretty competitive one, and that is to say, I think zone may flip a decent bit, unless a team is really able to capitalize and hold the other team in the choke in their base. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see as we're diving in here to Game 5, and gonna see a Tri Slosher come out from the side of Gimme Clam, and a wiper. A wiper gonna come out from the side of Yahtzee Yegs. A bit of an interesting picks coming out from both of these sides here.
Yeah, having that tri-slosher this time is actually a very different strategy from what they've been going with from that double shot. But yeah, as we mentioned, this double backline comp provides so much pain, and having the two Gorgeous on top really lets the backlines just sit there and be an absolute nuisance. But the Viper is not having any of it. He instantly takes out the Dynamo, and it gives the Yegs a time to get more zone. But he gets taken out in turn, and the tables might have flipped to be in favor of Give Me Clam. 3 down, coming down from the Yegs, and now Give Me Clam is in control.
Yeah, they're in control, and they have things to their name. And are they going to be able to hold it? But they just are. They're just regaining control. They're maintaining everything here. But they lose control. There goes into neutral. 2 players down on the side of Gimme Clam. Make that 3, and the zone is going to get flipped back into the favor of the Yahtzee Yegs, and now it looks like they're starting to set up. They're starting to get control.
You do see that Zuka get 2 picks. That is downright huge for them. Right now, what the Yegs are doing is that they're trying to choke Gimme Clam in their own base. The map design of this one has 2 Gorgeous set up in your own base, actually. So getting trapped there would be absolutely devastating, right? And we see that the Yegs are perfecting this strategy right now.
Yeah, just perfecting it, just knowing what they can do, knowing how they can capitalize it, knowing just everything about it. With only 15 points left on their possession, and 2 players down the side of Gimme Clams. This could be Yahtzee Yegs taking home another game, and yes it is! Game 5 goes to the Yegs.
The Yegs, I mentioned at the start of the game, that gorge, getting through the mid gorge, that's really important, right? And it seems like the Yegs are really, they heard me. I don't know, maybe they have telepathy or something, right? They heard me and they were like, yeah, okay, let's do that. And they perfected that strategy. They held Gimme Clam in their base once they got control for the second time. Yeah. So, DJam, you flipped the tables on me. It's back to you now. What do you think? What are you thinking of this?
Okay, Hagglefish Tower. Now, I've had people mention this to me before. The flanks here on Hagglefish, I've had people call them, they're fake flanks. They're
That's
not
so
true.
real.
They're not true flanks. But in saying that, with tower control, just because of the ability of the tower does allow you just to jump into spots where you normally can't get into. It does allow for that bit more of a dynamic movement on this map, Hagglefish Market, and I'm thinking going into this. I think they'll take away from the wiper that they had just because of how. Yeah, it's good in narrow corridors, but the Stamper is probably going to be a bit more better. Just going to giving you that a bit more extra range, bit more damage, especially when you have the Ninja. But in saying that, this map, just with the lack of how many tall structures there are, it's extremely predictable where the Ninja's going to go, especially when you have 2 backlines on the side of Gimme Clam, and they know there is probably like 2 to 3 spots where the Zipcaster is going to fly off to, and if the backlines know that, they can absolutely demolish any potential of that Zipcaster having a chance at life.
Oh, we do see the Yegs are pulling out a triple Zuka comp. That is honestly kind of insane. So I do think that, especially you mentioned earlier, this map, people like to call it the fake flanks, right? And I think that will be especially the case here with for the Yegs, because this double backline comp really means that they can just kind of watch both sides here and make it downright impossible. But it seems that the Yegs have a predetermined strategy. They're planning to use those Zukas to mess up those backliners. And we see the Yeggs immediately getting set up on Kent here. Ooh, but they instantly get taken out, and it's a 3 down situation for the Yeggs versus 3 up from Give Me Clam.
Yes, they had the strategy of splat, 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 but then the tables got turned against them and splat, splat, splat went back against their own. And now, Gimme Clams, they have control, they have tower, they have 2 players down against them on the side of the Yeggs, and that's going to allow them to make that 3 players down. That's going to allow them to get some smooth sailing down into the first checkpoint, and a lead swap is going to go back into their favor. But then 3 players go back down on their own side. A soft wipeout is certainly going to be what the Yahtzee Yeggs want here, and it's just mirror match. One thing happens, and then it gets fought back just in their favor.
Yeah, and we do see the Yeggs strategy of using that Zuka here, especially Prominent. We saw the members farming for that Zuka, so we know this is really what they're trying to do. 2 down, coming down from Give Me Clam right now, and another lead swap occurring. Wow, both teams. Right now, I'm noticing that both teams are having a really difficult time, even just pushing up past this first check, right? And we see here, Curve is trying to jump, and Jack is trying to just camp on the fake flank here. You know, I like to call this map mincemeat. It's just mincemeat, and it's literally just mincemeat. And I think that's especially true in this situation. Both teams are really struggling to even force through mid. And even when they try and flank, I mean, that it basically doesn't work, so it's kind of non-existent.
Yeah, they're just trying to find ways to break through, trying to find ways on painting their mark on the markets here. And just, they clear through the first checkpoint, but they don't have control beyond the tower. That means they're not going to be able to push it that far. That means they're not going to be able to take the lead. As the Yahtzee Yeggs, they're dancing around tower. Double Zuka is going to come on out, and that is going to be 3 players sent back to the spawn pad. And now, Give Me Clam, they have another opportunity. Now they're starting to push. Now they're starting to get aggressive. Now they're starting to get splats, and now they have taken the lead, but 3 players down will end that.
Yeah, both teams here are really going with a back and forth, and honestly, like, both teams are really haggling for this lead on Hagglefish Market right now. Salsa's going 2 down right now, though, and it seems that Gimme Clam is about to take another push yet again. That's a pseudo wipeout coming out from the Yeggs, and Gimme Clam has to move up if they want to secure another push.
Yeah, but, you know, they have that initial turf control they did from their last push. They have a bit more in their favor because of that as they head into the second checkpoint. Only 1 more checkpoint they need to clear before they get to the KO. But Gimme Clams, they're pushing up. They're pushing up hard. Are they going to be able to get splat? 2 players go down the side of Gimme Clams. The Zuka is going to look at trying to get some picks in 3-2. Oh, it's close. A few players left alive. The Dynamo just hugging around the corner there. Are they going to be able to find any picks? A player goes down on both sides here. And the tower is going to slowly make its way back. But a flank is going to try and do some damage, but isn't going to be enough. But it's another one's going to happen. And the tower is going to start on moving back. Azuka behind the tower, looking to do something. A few points shy of the KO. They're looking at getting the players. They're looking at doing some damage. They're looking at just trying to take it. It is just a constant back and forth. That tower is having burnout between which direction it wants to go. It's just constantly going there. 2 players are left alive on the side of Gimme Clam, and that is going to be enough for them to take the game.
Gimme Clam, wow. That final push was impressive. Gimme Clam had secured that 10. They had gotten the picks, and they were just telling Salsas, nah, this ain't happening. And we see the triple emote coming out as well. The teams are tied 3-3. We're gonna be getting into this final game right now on Rainmaker Eeltail Alley. honestly, this map is a very I would really say this is a really competitive map. Like, it's difficult to get a push off, but it also feels like a very back and forth map, similar to Mahi zones. And yeah, it really both teams really need a good grasp of how to play the game well if they want to secure the win against the other team for this match. Now that I've given my thoughts on it, what do you think, DJam?
Okay. Eeltail Rainmaker. Now, if I am going to cast my divine judgment upon this map, I think Yahtzee Yeggs, they know aggression, right? They know how to just deliver it. And again, Yahtzee Yeggs brings aggression. And then on the side of Gimme Clam, they know how to just solidify and lock down areas of this map. So, and you know, both those playstyles can work on this. It's just who is gonna take it and who is gonna take control the most.
Yeah, so we see both teams. We actually do see double backline again and their double shot, their signature composition. And we see the Yeggs actually running the exact same comp that they did last game. So I think that the Yeggs this time might have a good advantage on this map, especially fighting on what I'd call like more like a flowchart map. Having a lot of aggression to kind of push it would be really good. We see the Kraken getting juked by the Rainmaker, but unfortunately they get caught out by one of the shots, and that's 2 down coming up from both teams. We do see Gimme Clan securing that top, and now it's up to the Yeggs to secure mid here. The shot is quickly pushing up, and they get one pick. It's 1-1 on both sides. It really is going back and forth here. None of the teams have moved past mid, and it seems like it's gonna be difficult for them to even do that right now.
You say that, but then we get 3 players. A soft wipe is going to happen, and a clear checkpoint break is going to go through for the Yahtzee Yeggs as they clearly get through that checkpoint. Going to pick it up again. 3 players down is going to give them a lot of easy points here. Going to give that pushes. Are they going to be against the pedestal? No, they are not. Going to get stopped by the suction bomb, but they're going to pick it up and keep it on going. Stopped at 1 point remaining, and now it is in favor of Gimme Clam. They have control. They have locked down the Rainmaker, and Yahtzee Yeggs know this. They either need to get splats or they need to get into defensive mode ASAP if they want to keep this game. They want to take home the 3rd place. But Gimme Clam isn't going to let that happen without them going to go into debate.
Gimme Clam, the burden is really on Gimme Clam right now. Having that push all the way to 1 is very difficult. And I mean, I don't even know what to say, man. That initial push coming out from Yahtzee Yeggs just making me eat my words. That was a crazy push. And now we do get to see that, Gimme Clam is trying to set up for a push. They are really trying, but the Yeggs are just in their face and telling them no. But this gets that solo hold, but unfortunately, it's not gonna be enough. The Yeggs have 2 minutes left to defend, and Gimme Clam has 2 minutes to make their push. But it just seems that right now, the Yeggs are just trying to stall in mid. And in my opinion, I think if they continue stalling in mid, this could potentially be a little bit bad for them, because that just gives the Gimme Clam a lot easier space to. Oh, the Rainmaker actually gets a double, and the Yeggs are left 1-on-1 on both sides. That decision to not push past mid might have been a bit of a blunder. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
We will indeed. Dynamo is going to take a lot of control over mid. Is going to throw out that tactical just to give those quick respawns and give that speed boost as well. And now they're just trying to find ways, trying to find moments, trying to find damage, and damage is found against them as 2 players go down on the side of Gimme Clam, and now Yahtzee Yeggs. They're got an opportunity to do something as two players go down. The Rainmaker gets picked up and reset back just a few short centimeters, but Trade City is happening here as the Rainmaker gets picked up. Two players down on the side of Gimme Clam, but Biscuit with the Rainmaker, they're looking at to deliver that even further. Try and get to that KO with 40 seconds left onto the clock. They go down, and Gimme Clam, they are now heading into the final opportunity. Once they get their respawns going, this might be their last opportunity to do some damage, and two players going down on Yahtzee Yeggs is certainly going to help them start that momentum.
The Rainmaker does reset, and now both teams have to race to secure Pop here. It seems that Gimme Clam is getting Pop, thus securing the mid control. And now the Yeggs are left in the position of defense. They have that Zuko readied up from the machine, and if they can just land a shot, they get the win! And that is it. Those are your Frostbite Invitational third place placers. Yahtzee Yeggs taking home third place for the Frostbite Invitational. Wow, that was spectacular. That final game had a lot. I'm speechless.
Yeah, it had so much going for it. Had so much momentum, so many flips between those two teams, and Yahtzee Yeggs, they do take home the third place. They get the bronze, but bronze is not enough for you to get your spot into the Splat World Championships. The next two teams we have seen, they are ready. They are about to fight it out for the first placed position of the Frostbite Autumn Invitational. And I am all ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've spent this entire stream, we spent this entire tournament building up for this moment, this final game. The top two teams, who both of which will be progressing to the Splat World Cup, as DJam has mentioned. And, you know, just to elaborate a little bit for the viewers in chat, the Splat World Cup is a tournament organized by, I believe, it's the Platinum Cup series, and they are aiming to run one every season. So, it will consist of the top few teams from every region playing off against one another. And for our particular region, the Frostbite qualifier. So, looking at, how about we, looking at perhaps the map list here for finals. I'm just gonna read it out a bit. So we have Plan Blitz. Now this is certainly not a new map, but it is a new mode. And as you mentioned before, actually, this is like the staple of competitive. In every tournament, you'll definitely twice. And yeah, in my opinion, we've seen how Ikanabe has played, and we have seen how Greasy played, and they're both extremely strong teams, right? This map, having sustained aggression will be really important, as keeping middle and keeping control of the two stacks on the sides will be really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And just having way through, like, there are so many ways you can take the clams here. You can obviously go straight through mid. You can take the flank over to the left, and being able to control it is really going to have them decide what they might want to do on this map mode. And I'm, Ikanabe and Greasy Goblins, we've seen them both throughout the day today, throughout the evening, and I'm just trying to think, these are they're obviously powerhouses, being able to get to this point in the tournament. They've reached the grand finals, and they're to get here, and I'm just curious. They haven't battled against each other. We've been saying this out throughout the entire tournament. Like, being able to see these teams from such different regions, opportunity to fight it out against each other, it provides an opportunity that, you know, these teams that don't normally get to be in.
Well, with that said, we're going to be getting into the first game of the grand finals here, into Inkblot Art Academy Clan Blitz.
Indeed, we are, and we're going to see a bit of some interesting picks come out from both sides. Get a bit of interesting to see the Slosher come out from the side of the Greasy Goblins, and then on the opposition, you and the Brush. Definitely some interesting choices here.
Yeah, for sure. Having the Brush will be, in my opinion, it'll be very useful for the Greasy Goblins because, as I mentioned in the previous games, that Slosher QP is really strong, and I think having a Brush to kind of distract and skirmish will be kind of the key for Greasy.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're seeing that, you know, Greasy Goblins, they have turf control. They're starting to make their push. They have 11 clams to their name. They might want to get a few more clams to their name, though, if they want to make more of a significant push. But with 3 pleas down on the side of Ikanabe, make that a wipeout. They now have control. They have broken the basket. They are looking at doing some more damage there. But Ikanabe, they've locked down the plat. It does not look like Greasy Goblins is going to be able to get any more clams on in there as a solid defense from Ikanabe. Great defense, going from a wipeout just to be able to lock them out and only have a few clams go in just showcases that, yes, they know how to quickly retake their own flat here, and a great showcase from them.
Yeah, they did retake plat, but unfortunately the Greasy Goblins were just shy of plat. It made it so that the Greasy Goblins are able to immediately set up for a second push here, and they're able to extend their lead just a little bit. Now, I do think the tides have favored, are back in Ikanabe's favor. It's going to be their time to actually get a push off here. We do see a Tactical coming out from Greasy Goblins and the Whale, and now both teams are kind of fighting for mid. Ikanabe is in overwhelming control of mid, and it's now up to the Greasy Goblins to repel the push, and not only that, they have to take that mid as well. Now, one down going down from the Greasy Goblins. Ikanabe quickly is going to set up for a push.
They're setting up. They're looking at doing something. They're looking at trying to get on through, but they need to get some picks. And Latias isn't going to allow that to happen without them saying something, taking care of that Slosher, sending them back on to their spawn pad and getting another pick as well as 3 players down on the side of Ikanabe. And they're going to look at getting yet another push. Ikanabe have yet to score any clams against the Greasy Goblins, as they're looking to make yet another push. They have 15 clams to their name as Power Clam breaks on open the basket, followed by another one almost immediately, sending it down to 32. They've only got 2 players left alive, and they're still finding more clams, still sending them on in and keeping the basket open for even longer. The Brush is the only one left alive, but they have enough clams to potentially take it all home, but no, they do not, as they have been sent back. You know, you don't have any clams in the afterlife, do you?
Yeah, certainly both teams here are showing excellent control over the clams economy. They are certainly being given clams. The both Sloshers trade out, and Ikanabe is now left 2 down versus 3 onslaught. The Greasy Goblins, you know, you see them, they're running a pencil, right? They are really penciling in this win for themselves right now. They have that push all the way to 11, and Ikanabe needs to get so many clams into that basket, which will be a very tough order. This Brush is doing excellent skirmishing right now, and we do see the Brush is quickly trying to set up for a distraction and a push in in that time that Ikanabe was focusing on the brush, the rest of the members were able to get an inkjet and actually mess up their position.
Yeah, and the E-leader just staying up from the top, trying to rain down hell on to the Greasy Goblins, just trying to push them away as we're heading into the final 30 seconds of the match, and 2 players go down on the side of Ikanabe. Greasy Goblins have they have 24 clams, and they're looking at getting the super jump on in, looking on breaking the basket all the way down to 3 and 1 clam left, and that is the game.
That game really started as kind of, it was kind of slow in the beginning, right? We saw that Greasy Goblins got that clam, but throughout that entire game, after getting mid back from Ikanabe, that didn't really let it go. They had that constant pressure that entire time, and that really let them secure a win. They're placing a really strong setting? I don't even think setting is the right word. They're placing a really strong front to Ikanabe and telling them, hey, this is our territory, yo.
Yeah, they took home Ink Blot Art absolute aggression, not even allowing Ikanabe to get a single point to their name and just get that KO on in. And now, splat zones. You know, it's so similar in a sense to Inkblot Art Academy. The only change here is the fact that the aim of the game is to and lock it down. And, you know, with such a vastly different mode and how it works, I'm curious to see if Ikanabe might make some comp changes to just counter Greasy Goblin's aggression.
Yeah. I do think that we'll be able to see perhaps both teams actually adapting in real time. We have 2 specimens in this lobby this time, possibly. Now, getting into Splatoon's Makomar, I actually do think that both teams may be equally matched here. We might see a pencil coming out from both sides, which will be pretty... Oh, we actually see an E-leader coming out, and from both sides. Wow, now, having that Tacticooler in place of that pencil will be really strong, but this also means that they have less retake specials. For the side of Greasy Goblins, they only really have the crab, but for Ikanabe, they have in order to force zone back into their favor.
Yeah, and just having that absolute control, having those specials that can just do so much damage, and 3 players going down the side of Ikanabe is certainly going to do some damage. They're going to be able to take control there. They're going to be able to keep it under their favor. As Greasy Goblins, they're just trying to do something, and then they just get 3 players down and retake control in just mere moments.
Yeah, the tide is flipping back and forth here. Ikanabe is already setting up for their push. They have popped the Tacticooler, and yeah, specials are coming up from both sides. We do see the brush gets a single pick off, and that machine is popping that Zuka to hopefully try and get some lottery picks. But it's looking a bit difficult for Ikanabe to secure the zone now. Never mind, they get the zone completely back, and now Greasy Goblins have to defensively in order to ensure that they don't make a mistake and lose all their ground. Currently, Ikanabe's comp really facilitates them striking under the plat and just kind of holding. Whereas for the Greasy Goblins, having, the splash and the brush, it makes it a bit more difficult. They have to rely on a bit more long-range pressure from the charger. And
yeah, and Latias can certainly deliver that. They're going to have to retake control now. They're going to have to do some damage really quickly as they're heading into the 30-point range. Zone goes into neutral and gets flipped back into the favor of the Greasy Goblins. They're going to clear that penalty, and then they can start doing some damage, but they have to do something as 2 specials are online and make that 2 specials used on the side of Ikanabe. And now they're looking at trying to do something. They have control. They have a lot. They need to Something needs to happen. They need to push further. They need to do more damage. They need to get picks, and it's just not getting delivered as they get taken out, but they get taken back in retaliation. 2 down a piece. Make that 3 down. A wipeout on the Greasy Goblins. And now Ikanabe is going to retake control.
Yeah, the ball is now in Ikanabe's court. They can definitely make the best of this situation. As we have seen before, they lock out the Greasy Goblins to secure their 30 lead. They get that snipe on that splash, and it seems that they're setting up for such a 2 going down from both sides, 3 going down from the Greasy Goblins, and now they're just left with that crab, with that whale, and they really need to make those 2 specials count. The Greasy Goblins are setting up to get their zone back. They lose the lead, but hope not for long. As we see the Greasy Goblins quickly taking back zone. We see them pop the Tacticooler. We see them trying to move up here, but Ikanabe is saying, ooh, the Zuka coming out, Link dying to that, and Ikanabe is really making their journey back into zone, rushing that E leader, and they get the redown. That was a blunder coming out from Ikanabe, and they've just left the charger left. Greasy Goblins emptying their penalty. They need to hold the zone a little bit longer, and they can secure the lead. The lead flips all the way over. It's 16 to 19 right now. The game is so close. 1 minute left on the clock. Both teams have to ensure that their hold is solid, or else we'll just take the win. This game is insane right now.
It's insane. And they're continuing, but 3 players go down on the side of Ikanabe. Allow Greasy Goblins to retake it again into their favor. They've got to clear through that penalty though. 40 seconds left on the clock. Ikanabe, if they want to get the lead back, if they want to get the first game into the, they need to do something now. And 2 players down on the side of the Greasy Goblins. Certainly is going to help that.
Yeah, but 2 players down also coming from Ikanabe is gonna let the Greasy Goblins continue to hold the zone. Having that E leader there is really good for the long range pain that it provides. 3 going down from Ikanabe though, and that is going to secure the win of the Greasy Goblins. They take the 2nd game of the set.
Wow. That was a great showcase out from them, and them just, you know, it was such a back and forth, and you know, compared to game 1 where Greasy Goblins had such a dominating control, you head into this zones back and forth between these 2 teams, but Greasy Goblins just being able to show why they have aggression, show why they are dominant here, taking home that 2nd game. And now Hagglefish Market. CoCo, what do you think of this?
What do I think? In, you know, as you know, I'm a comp player, right? And that I really don't like, because I think I already mentioned it before. This is just mincemeat too, like mincemeat with Riz, like literally. It's a really flowcharty map, so you're really prone to getting. So on this map, it really is whoever is able to get that first push. As you mentioned, this map does have flanks, but it's not real, right? And both teams have a charger that can sit on 10 and watch both of those flanks, which will definitely make this an even more brute force map, I guess. Both teams will have to pick comps with decent pushing specials, like having crabs, whales, booyahs. Those specials will be really valuable on this map because they really need to force it, and they can't just, they can't just be sneaky and go through a flank. Yeah.
No. They cannot.
Yeah, so really quickly, we're gonna be getting into this 3rd game here on Tower Control Hagglefish. I'm really wondering what the teams are gonna run here. We do see a blaster coming out with that tri-slosher, and we see that the Greasy Goblins are running Neo Machine and Double Shooter, and with that leader. So, this is both teams are actually the comp from Ikanabe is pretty interesting. What do you think of it while we're waiting for both of the teams in the game to heat up?
Yeah, like it's definitely the blaster is certainly gonna provide that bit of a tease to them, but it's gonna be, are they gonna be able to really capitalize that? Are they really gonna be able to showcase what can a blaster do? As you know, 2 players going down early on the Greasy Goblins, but you know the Zuka just showing what a Zuka can do, getting some picks in retaliation, gonna send them back into the neutral field, push and pull, and 2 players, but then 2 players goes down again on the Greasy Goblins, which is gonna allow Ikanabe to get a very early first push here.
Yeah, Ikanabe popping that crab. Outright disgusting pick. That was actually kind of insane. But Ikanabe is really setting up for their push here. Greasy Goblins are having a really hard time defending as Ikanabe pops their Trizukas to kind of give them a screen. And they're pushing. The Greasy Goblins are really struggling to kind of read them out of their base as they are getting kind of focused and lasered. It's stuck in 10. It's 2 down from both sides, so if Greasy Goblins had to make a move, it'd have to be now, or else that would be a fumble. We do see the big bubbler getting popped, and that was the real advantage. That was their trump card. It secures them the checkpoint, and it makes their push all the way to 18. Now, Ikanabe is still pushing though. Nah, we see that wipeout. The Greasy Goblins finally had enough. Ooh, lag spike. And the Greasy Goblins have to really fast here because Ikanabe are going to be coming back really quickly. And, you know, the Greasy Goblins are going to have a bit of a hard time if they don't secure all their space right now, if they don't get the necessary picks that they need right now. It's going to be a bit difficult for them to push up.
It certainly is, and they're going to look at trying to do something. They're going to need to do a lot. 2 players going down on the side of Ikanabe is certainly going to help that, make that 3 players down as they're going to continue that town, going to get into the first checkpoint, and with those players down, it's certainly going to be a very easy clear for them. And now they're going to look at, they need to push forward, they need to get their specials, they need to get their picks, and they need to defend. And what a great shot there, stopping the triple ink strike from doing any form of damage.
Yeah, the Greasy Goblins, they're currently at 40, but they really need to extend this. That checkpoint, that's going to be one of the worst and most difficult checkpoints to get through on this map because it's easy for the other team to defend. So, Greasy Goblins, their win entirely depends on if they can secure that checkpoint, if they can make a decent push. They have 2 minutes left, so they have a pretty decent margin of time left as well.
Yeah, but they still, you might have the you have the tower, as that's all that matters here. And Ikanabe, they certainly do, and they're looking at pushing that even further. A player down on the side of the Greasy Goblins, but they're going to need to do more than that, and more than that than they do. 3 players going down the side of the Greasy Goblins. That tower is going to ride on through, heading into the final checkpoint. They're Greasy Goblins, they got to do something now. Big Bubbler's going to kind of give it some traction, but a wipeout will stop that push, getting 3 more points on to their objective now, all the way down to 12. Raimi, they have the crab at the ready. Zuka on the ready by Link. But they're going to need to do something.
They have a really difficult push awaiting them. They have to kill. They have to get so much picks here in order to actually secure this push, because all Ikanabe really needs to do right now is just sit. We do see that Zuka gets a single pick, but that blaster is being an absolute annoyance right now and is solo holding that tower and is preventing its advance. Ikanabe gets the Greasy Goblins, and now they are in the advantage. Going into the last 30 seconds, the Greasy Goblins have one final chance to make this push, or else that's going to be curtains for this game for them.
Will be, and they need to get the picks. They need to get the picks now. They have the tower, but are they going to be able to follow that up with special? The crab is certainly going to push anyone away. A player goes down, 2 players go down on the side of Ikanabe. Are they going to get another? Yes, They are, and that tower is going to keep on chugging along. Tactical is going to come out. Are they going to find more picks? Are they going to get more splats? Are they going to do more damage? The checkpoint is getting cleared. 2 players down on the side of Ikanabe. Make that 3, but is anyone on the tower to keep it going? Yes, there is, but they get taken out by the chuck. When they're climbing into the final checkpoint, is anyone going to be able to stop it? And Wipeout will do just that.
Wow, I have no words. This is the third 1-point lead win that we've seen, and yeah, that was such an insane game.
It certainly was, and that's going to allow Ikanabe to take the first game into their favor, giving them they now have a bit more of a fighting chance here.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that winning that one game might have given Ikanabe a brand new boost of motivation. Like, oh, hey, we took a game, we can totally do this, right? And you know, we could see Ikanabe capitalize on that momentum in the next few games as well. So, Rainmaker Scorch. Now, this is a very interesting map, in my opinion. It's really difficult to get past that first. It's really difficult to get past that first checkpoint, and actually, I don't even know what I'm about to say. It's really difficult to get past that first checkpoint. Okay, and really need to capitalize on going through the grates or as much as possible, right? As we saw in those previous games when I mentioned Ikanabe is just like you kill one of them, another one pops up. It's like whack-a-mole, right?
Yeah.
If Ikanabe is able to do that this game, they can definitely, the Greasy Goblins could definitely be in for a rough ride. Ikanabe dominate the other teams on this map, but not specifically this mode.
Yeah, it's gonna I don't know. Like, there is like, it's pretty much one route. Yes, you have your greats, but like, let's face reality. No one's going to take that. It is slower. It is more open. You're more vulnerable, and you will be shot down like hell. It is not realistic by any measure to ever go that way. If you do,
He's not sugarcoating it.
no. I'm past the point of sugar. We are in the Sour Patch Kids, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
But you know, you got that one route to take it here. But and you really, if you want to, you have to it's so hard to, even if you don't have the Rainmaker, it is so hard to push past the checkpoint just because of how narrow that alleyway is. And you've got to find key moments to really break through. You've got to get your specials. You got to get your picks, and you really have to do a lot just to get past the checkpoint. Once you pass the checkpoint, you're in pretty a bit more safe territory. It's just
for sure.
clearing the checkpoint and then just getting past it. That is the choke point of this map.
Okay, so very quickly, I think the teams are readying up. They are selecting their weapons and are in the lobby. So we will be seeing this match starting up again soon. I'm really excited to see what the teams pull out for this match, because this is one hell of a map and mode combination. It's very difficult to push on this. So I wonder how the teams are going to innovate and kind of adapt, you know? And, you know, as we mentioned in previous games as well, Greasy Goblins is a very adaptable team. The teams are able to pick up on the fly about what to change, what not, right? And, you know, I wonder what they're thinking after taking that loss. Like, okay, maybe it's a comp issue or something of the sort, right? Last game, we saw that Ikanabe had insane pressure and insane push power because, you know, that blaster with the bubbler and tower, it's just gone. Greasy Goblins were not able to defend that checkpoint because of the bubbler. So I'm wondering if, you know, maybe Greasy will try a different strategy, perhaps maybe take out a vacuum to try and, push the Rainmaker up a little bit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll just have to see. But, you said Greasy Goblins, they're very adaptable, and now that they've lost a game, they know what they did wrong. They
yeah,
know where they can put the band-aids. Like, it's not on their legs, it's on their elbows. They know where the blood's coming out of, they know what to do. And that just might make them even more powerful as we head into game 4 of the set.
Yeah, for sure. We do see Greasy Goblins coming out with a very paint-heavy comp. The pencil coming out from Greasy. And we do see that aforementioned back coming out not from Greasy, but from Ikanabe. We also see that blaster from last game coming out yet again. This is a tense fight for mid here. Both teams are really gunning, and having that blaster on top is gonna make it difficult for the Greasy Goblins to do anything. 2 down coming out from both sides here, leaving just the backline and the end zap. And yeah, both teams, Ikanabe instantly jumping back in as well. And yeah, it seems like both teams we're starting this game off just like we have for, Eel's Hill Alley Rainmaker, where, the Vac actually gets caught up by the Tri-Strikes, and this is the push opportunity for the Greasy Goblins. They need to kill that Slosher, and then they can make that push. Both of the enemies in mid are taken out, and this could be Greasy Goblins' checkpoint right here, right now. Charger has that Vac, and that can allow them. He gets picked off by the pencil though, and if the Greasy Goblins are able to get the pop here, they are able to get some picks here. They can get that checkpoint, but unfortunately, it seems like the tides are not in their favor. The bubbler has been set up, and Ikanabe is now locking down that ramp.
They're locking it down, and they're locking it down tight as they have taken control, but 2 players go down again. On the side of Ikanabe's Greasy Goblins, they're looking at doing something big, but 1 player goes down, but 1 player goes back down on the other side in retaliation. And now, it's just a fight over mid. It's trying again. They're dancing around each other. They're trying to find opportunities. They do get that splat on the Zuka. Are they going to find more? You're not going to be able to do that with an Inkback defending that area. And then, are they going to break through the checkpoint? Are they going to be able to break through there with the players? Are they going to be able to get the splats? They get 1, but they need to get more. They need to do damage, and 1 more is going to happen, but 2 go down against them. But are they still going to be able to get through the checkpoint? They see a player from behind, and they take them out, but they aren't able to take the checkpoint.
Yeah, now it's Ikanabe's turn again to defend. The Greasy Goblins do have a Zuka, which could pose a problem for Ikanabe right now. They're just waiting out the Zuka. And Greasy Goblins, unfortunately, is holding this zone, holding this area. They're unable to get this checkpoint. We are halfway into this game, and not a single checkpoint has been broken. That should tell you how evenly tied both of these teams are right now. That's Charger getting a sneaky pick on the blaster inside that bubbler, but it still seems that Ikanabe right now is unable to make a push into mid, as the Greasy Goblins just Ikanabe though getting 2 down from the Greasy Goblins, and it's now the ball is in Ikanabe's court.
It is indeed. And now they have control of the Rainmaker, but they need to do something here. The Tri-Strikes is going to go straight onto them. No players is going to follow it up though, however. And now, they're just dancing around. They're trying to find lanes. They're trying to find opportunities. The pencil finds them first, but are they going to be able to find the splat? Who is going to take home splat between the charges? They're just eyeing each other off, and no one is going to come out victorious as both of them go down. But 3 players are only go 3 players go down on the side of Ikanabe, and this Rainmaker is trapped between a rock and a hard place, and they get taken on out.
Yeah, with a minute left on the clock, both teams here actually need to make a decent push here. Ikanabe more so than the Greasy Goblins, but to note, that Rainmaker is in a really bad spot. Ikanabe has to wait for this reset here. And this Slosher is trying to solo, but he's getting really rapidly, he's getting damaged, and he actually dies to that. 2 players coming down from Ikanabe, and it was nearly Greasy Goblin's time to shine, but they got picked off by, I think, the Charger it was. And that has just sent the Greasy Goblins all the way back to square one. Ikanabe is now contesting mid, and the Greasy Goblins have to make a decent defense here. With 30 seconds left on the clock, they have not much options other than to defend, and defend.
Indeed, and they've look, Ikanabe, they're trying to push on forward, they're trying to get splats. But Greasy Goblins pick up the Rainmaker, not Ikanabe, and that is going to be pushed even further, but that is going to allow the overtime to begin. And are they going to be able to do it? Rainmaker gets picked on up. Are they able to just get it if they even touch?
They have the
checkpoint.
They have the
are they
vacuum.
going to get it? The splat is theirs, and so is the game.
Wow. You know, earlier in this game, we were talking about like, oh, I wonder how the teams are gonna push past their first checkpoint. They were not gonna push past that first checkpoint, man. Wow. Both of these teams are pretty evenly matched, and I hope that game really shows you how, it shows you how evenly matched they are. Now, up next, we have Brine Water Springs. Now, DJam, you said this is one of the maps I'm looking forward to. What makes you look forward to this one?
I don't know if look forward to is the word I would use. I would say is going to be interesting is the phrase that would be, I would more align as this map mode. If your team can be aggressive, this is where you will shine. But if you lose control for just mere moments, you can get catapulted down to hell. So, going into this, Greasy Goblins at tournament point. Greasy Goblins, this is by far, of this entire round, this is the map mode that favors their playstyle the hardest. But
yeah, for sure.
Ikanabe, if they can hold them off, if they can find a crack and just widen it on open, they will just send Greasy Goblins back on down.
Yeah, I think especially on this map, it's really important for the teams to actually get the right picks on their weapons here. I would say this is one of the maps that it really does matter a lot. And, currently we saw the Zuka meta coming out. Having a Neo machine and having those Zukas will be really good because you can just fire over the wall and you could potentially just get free picks. And that's going to be really good for either team if they manage to get that. And not to mention, you mentioned, you can get sent down to the depths of hell pretty much immediately. And honestly, that's true. This map is a really snowbally map. So both teams are really going to have to try their hardest here. We do see that new machine coming out from Ikanabe, and we do see a normal slosher coming out from Link. This is shaping up to be kind of interesting.
It is going to be interesting indeed. Who is going to get the first push? We're about to find out. This is tournament point. And two players instantly going down on both sides is going to make this a bit more scrappy over mid. And the tactical is going to come out from the side of Ikanabe. But is anything else going to be found out of this? The Zuka is going to come on out. That's not going to find any picks, however. And the Clam's economy is so low at the moment that there is going to need to be something. There needs to be something to happen. Yes, they have 12 Clams in the name, but how are they going to be able to follow up? How are they going to be able to do damage? And how are they going to deal with the members of Greasy Goblins? The basket gets opened, but are they going to be able to follow that up with anything?
Yeah, we do see some clams coming in. Now, actually, I want to bring up the point about both Ikanabe and Greasy Goblins trying to adapt. We see that Ikanabe now is actually starting to run a crab, which they did not in the previous few games. So, both of these teams are actively learning on the fly and adapting to each other's playstyles. Now, the Greasy Goblins, the favor, they really need to capitalize on this. If they let Ikanabe sit in mid for way too long, it's gonna become a bit of a problem for them. Ikanabe, though, with that pencil, was holding off the Greasy Goblins just for a little bit. Now, Ikanabe is attempting... Ooh, Greasy Goblins is now actually setting up for a push. They have that crab on near below basket, which doesn't seem to be actually getting that much value. The crab gets picked off, and that's 2 down from the Greasy Goblins. Ikanabe is in favor right now. Ooh.
They're in favor, but are they going to be able to capitalize on that? Do have the shot that does have a few clams to the name. They do make that power clam there, but are they going to be able to do anything with it? The jumps on back, and now Greasy Goblins, they have control over mid, but they have no clams in their economy. They need to find them. They need to get the specials, and they need to get the picks if they want to get something.
Ooh,
but the picks go against them.
People. Wow. The Ikanabe is now setting up for the push. We have that defensive crab coming out from the Greasy Goblins. Unfortunately, is not able to get any picks off. That power clam is going straight in. And now Ikanabe has the chance to walk up and get more clams. It's now 3 down with that crab having to solo hold mid. And now the Greasy Goblins are back in favor. 2 down still from the Ikanabe. And now the Greasy Goblins really have to make a fast move here, or else they're not gonna be able to have another opportunity if they do not capitalize on this.
Indeed, Bazooka comes out, is gonna be finding any picks. No, it is not. And they're just looking on breaking on through, but they're just not able to. There's just too much paint getting thrown at that corner of the map, but 2 players going down on the side of Ikanabe. Make that 3 is now going to really allow the Greasy Goblins to get a lot of momentum, to get a lot of push, and to get a lot of clams potentially. Basket gets broken, but are they going to be able to follow that up? 3 players going down. Pencil's the only one left alive, and they have no clams to their name, and a defense is going to be superb from the side of Ikanabe.
Yeah. Now, Ikanabe has their specials set up, and they have the specials set up, and they're already getting ready to get their push. They are extending their lead to a grand old 25 and counting. 3 down now, coming down from Ikanabe, and Greasy Goblins, they need to move very quickly here. That pencil is going to be staying at basket to get the pity, and the Greasy Goblins seem to be setting up for a push here. They have put their clams, they have gotten their clams, they've set up their crabs, and they are using their crab as well. Now, they have to defend against this pencil, and this crab here. They have that... Ooh, the Zuka gets picked off by the crab, and Greasy Goblins need to secure extra clams in, but they unfortunately have 0 clams in the bank, and it doesn't seem like their push is gonna be successful to get them the lead. Moving into the last 30 seconds, they have a solid 1 more opportunity to play this one.
They do, but it's certainly going to be difficult just with how rare the clam spawns and how far apart they appear on this map. Certainly going to make it difficult. They do have 1 power clam in their name, which is certainly going to allow overtime to commence here. But, you know, we've seen throughout this whole game how good Ikanabe is at defending their basket, as Raimi looking at pushing through, gets taken out by the Trizuka. And now they're going to see if they can make anything happen. Link is going to be able to get that spot. Are they going to do more? No, they are not. So that will be game 5. Going to Ikanabe.
has now secured their win against the Greasy Goblins. They need 2 more wins to secure the win. While Greasy Goblins is still keeping them at tournament point. Looking at the next map, actually, it is looking to be ship shape on splat zones. This pick, I feel like both teams will be relatively evenly matched. They both have an insane charger player, and they are both, how would I say this? They're both really good at moving up and holding space as well. So this map, this mode, it's gonna be one of the games of this tournament, all right.
Yeah, it certainly will be. And yeah, you mentioned earlier, you know, Greasy Goblins, they know how to adapt, and now we're seeing Ikanabe. They also, I'm getting the feeling they also know really how to adapt against Greasy Goblins. Like they've really changed from how they play and being able to counterplay. Yeah, I called at the start of last match that Greasy Goblins, they probably had the dominating hand, but Ikaname just being able to lock down their bunker, just being able to provide that incredible defense, just really showcased how well they were able to hold out the aggression from Greasy Goblins.
Yeah, for sure. So, coming out, I do think Pencil will be a really strong pick on this map and mode. We have seen both chargers actually be running Pencil, and freeing up that tacticooler spot for the other three teammates to actually run, different kinds of specials will be very interesting. I think definitely we've seen both teams run their fair share of sloshers. We've seen them run their no machines. So I wonder which one they'll actually pick this time, because like normal slosher, that's pretty strong already, but you have the Neo machine, which is also really strong, especially in this kind of Zuka meta right now. So yeah, I think this map really will be interesting to see how both of these teams play it. What do you think about this one, DJam?
Just because of how high the ledges are, I'm not sure. I'm expecting to see probably a regular slosher rather than the machine and the try. And I could also very much expect maybe a Dynamo, just as a left field pick here from Ikanabe, but no, that does not come out in E-Leader. However, does come out on both sides, and I'm proven wrong as the try slosher comes out on not only one but both teams again. They just love to prove me wrong, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. So, now with these, how do I even put this? We do see the Greasy Goblins getting an instant advantage here. The Greasy Goblins are gonna look to trap Ikanabe inside their base. This map has that chokehold in spawn, which will make it really difficult to break out if the Greasy Goblins get set up. The Greasy Goblins have popped their crab here, and now Ikanabe has to wait it out. They have their own crab of their own, waiting to respond, but it seems like that crab is gonna be not able to actually act at all. No! The slosher falls off the map, and now we see the splash trying to come up. Greasy Goblins goes 3 down, and it's just the T-Tech left on the field. 1 minute into the game, and Greasy Goblins has put down to 38. And now Ikanabe they have to ensure that their hold is set up properly. Having that hold will be the key to winning this game for Ikanabe, and also Greasy Goblins. As it makes sure that the other team can't even get the zone, then how are they gonna win, right?
Exactly, and now with 2 players down on the side of Ikanabe, Greasy Goblins, they're looking at getting the more picks. They're looking at making that not 2 but 3 players down, but it does not happen. But the zone does get flipped back in favor of Greasy Goblins, giving Ikanabe that penalty they need to chew through before they get more points onto their scoreboard here. And they're just gonna try and find it. They're just dancing around each other. 2 players go down on both sides, and the zone gets sent into neutral. But 3 players then going down on the side of Ikanabe. Greasy Goblins, they now have control not only in points, but of the zone.
Yeah, we just saw there actually. Ikanabe nearly wanted to back off, but they realized that backing off would be a huge mistake. So they just kept holding zone and kept holding their position. Link tried to get that pick, but unfortunately he got outrange. And now it's Ikanabe's turn yet again to try and hold Greasy Goblins in their base. They have popped that Zuka, and they have one more shot. They don't find anybody. And now that leader, both teams actually don't really have special right now. The Greasy Goblin's only special just got picked off, and that's 2 down coming down from Greasy. And this may actually secure Ikanabe's lead right now.
It could the lead does switch over. Yeah,
the lead does switch over, and now... Sorry. Greasy Goblins now has... They have about 20 seconds to get back into zone here. They are 1 player down, so they need to make a move now, or else it's not gonna work down well for them. They are popping the strikes, and
is
they are
certainly gonna help that. Oh, saved with just 3 seconds to spare. 2 players alive on both sides. The zone goes back into the favor of the Greasy Goblins, and now they have control. They have a few specials to their name. The Tactical comes out, Splats come out as well. But the zone goes back into favor of Ikanabe. Greasy Goblins, they need to find ways. They need to find Splats, and Splats are found as one goes down. But are they going to find more? Yes, they are. Are they going to get the crab? Yes, they are. Only the try is left alive, and they know who they are. They are going to get pushed on into a corner and going to get shut on down.
Charger fight occurring right now. Both Chargers are just looking at one another. Greasy Goblins has to hold zone for an additional 30 seconds here if they want to secure this win. And it seems like Ikanabe is already approaching and encroaching onto that zone. 2 down coming down from Greasy Goblins right now. But we do see the Tri-Slosher getting an additional 2 and actually trading out. It's just... Ooh, the Tri-Slosher is able to solo hold the zone here. And now Remy taking that win. He has to stay on zone. He has to secure the zone, or else the Greasy Goblins will not have much of another opportunity to push in. 16-4 as a scoreline. This is incredibly close. The Greasy Goblins must hold the zone very carefully here. They have to make sure that they don't die and that they pop their specials in appropriate positions. This crab right now that we see being popped is a really good... That's a really good position as it pressures the rest out of the zone. We do see that Splash collapsing onto zone solo, and he does get a trade. But now the Greasy Goblins are in control of the zone. It is the last 20 seconds, and all the Greasy Goblins have to do is hold. Ikanabe is gonna desperately try and contest. 2 down coming from the side of Greasy Goblins, and it seems that Ikanabe might be taking this one.
All the zone goes into neutral. Are they gonna take it? It is turf all over the zone, but they had to get control, and they were not able to. Getting the score to 3-all, getting us into Game 7.
Wow, that is insane. Getting into this final game here, we're going to be seeing this final game occur on TC Inkbot Art Academy, which we have seen. Why the sigh? Why the sigh, DJ? What's up?
The amount of times this is used is just, I personally think this is overused. That is my... Yes, it's a good map for competitive. I don't deny that. It is overused in my opinion. I have seen it too many times. My heart and soul has been broken by this map. And seeing it for Game 7, I'm sorry, my heart just had to cry for a second and I had to let that out.
Well, this... Honestly, I don't even know what to expect anymore. I've sat through this whole set, and both teams, as we mentioned, they are really evenly matched in terms of skill. So I definitely think that Ikanabe has a good chance of winning this, but at the same time, you're not going to count the Greasy Goblins just out yet. They're the goats of the AU scene, right? And can we get some OCE support in chat, yo?
Who knows? We'll have to see. And now, Game 7 here. We've seen these two teams battle it out time and time again. And we've seen they've kind of evolved how their comp works. And we'll see. They head straight into the final game of the Frostbite Invitational Autumn 2024. 23.
24? Yo, I didn't know we were up a year already. That's crazy. Time really flies, guys. So, getting into this, both teams are going to be really quickly contesting mid. I don't think either team has an advantage. Oh, wait, no. This is Rainmaker. Wait, what am I saying, bro? Ikanabe is getting set up on the right stack for Greasy Goblins here. And it seems that they have an early mid securing. Ikanabe, though, is running a long blaster. And now we see 2 down coming out from Ikanabe. This is gonna give the Greasy Goblins a chance to get back into mid. That Tri-Slasher has also just gone down. And that leaves, I believe, the Smash. Oh no, the Blaster is here too. The Blaster is being extremely aggressive and just pushing up and making it so that, you know, Greasy Goblins is basically unable to get back. We see that Ikanabe is trying to take bats very quickly here as they understand the value of controlling that position.
Yeah, just this Blaster really being able to capitalize on the ledges. They're being the only one left alive now after jump out there wisely. But they're getting all the way down to 55 in the first minute. Definitely a great first push going to come out from them. But now, Greasy Goblins, they've got control. They have tactical, they have specials. They have things to their name. But with 3 players going down, that is something they don't have. A wipeout is certainly going to hold any form of counter push going, as Ikanabe is going to go for yet another shot for the KO once again.
Ikanabe once again is already contesting for the tower once again, but BC Goblins just don't want to let that happen. We saw 2 down already coming down from Ikanabe, and BC Goblins are going to try and rapidly take back zone. Zone? Take back mid. Ooh, BC Goblins does get a single pick on the Long Blaster though, and they are fishing for a few picks here with that Zuko. This is shaping up to be a strong push, but that Crab is going to stop the push in its tracks. BC Goblins aren't able to secure that checkpoint at all, and Ikanabe is back in control. BC Goblins are fighting desperately for mid though, and yeah, it's a bit of a neutral game right now. BC Goblins, however, are forced back into their plat, and yeah, now Ikanabe has the advantage.
They're dancing around the stacks, and they see the splat. Are they going to get it? Yes, they are. And now it is finally time. They're looking to try to get a push. They're looking at getting more splats, but they get taken out by the Blaster. And now 2 players down on the side of Greasy Goblins. Ikanabe just been so dominating throughout this entire match so far, and they have not allowed the Greasy Goblins even just a moment to breathe.
Yeah, for sure. They are keeping this pressure tight, and Ikanabe now is going 2 down, but having that tactical, having that jump is going to make sure that Ikanabe is not going to let BC Goblins take a moment's breather. 3 down though, now coming out, and they really need to make a move quickly. The score lead is not that great, but seeing how difficult this push is for the Greasy Goblins and how hard Ikanabe are defending, it's going to be a bit difficult for them to make this.
Yeah, every time Greasy Goblins even touch the first checkpoint, Ikanabe just has specials ready to defend them. Whether that be a Crab, whether that be a Zuka, there's just specials ready to defend. So what Greasy Goblins need to do, they need to be able just to push them down. They need to find ways for them to get rid of those specials, reduce them to mere atoms, and 2 players going down on the side of Ikanabe, 3 then down on the side of Greasy Goblins. Makes it again a fight for mid, but just Ikanabe, they're just capitalizing on it. They're just taking control, and they're setting forth for another push. 2 players go down on the side of Greasy Goblins in the final 50 seconds. Something's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen real soon.
The Greasy Goblins have to make a move now. We are into the last minute, and they have very few opportunities to make a push here. With 2 down coming down from the side of Greasy Goblins already, it's going to be a bit difficult for them. We do see Ikanabe also going 2 down, however, and Greasy, despite the numbers, despite the 2 on all sides, they have to make a push right now. Ikanabe is now 3 down, but even still, they're not letting the Greasy Goblins even take a rest. No matter how much they fight, Ikanabe is just always there and always ready to take them on. Last 10 seconds here. The Greasy Goblins have to touch tower soon. They have to take tower. That Slosher flank though might actually mess the plans up though. And okay, 2 down from Ikanabe now. It's gonna be a bit of a tense push. That shot is trying to take tower, and it's just the Charger left defending. If the Greasy Goblins has any specials left right now, they have to pop it.
1, 2, is anyone going to be able to go to the town? No, they're all dead. They're all not alive.
They're all dead.
They're getting
Greasy Goblins takes the win. That was an insane final game to end it on. Wow.
getting all the way into overtime. Just generally having the triple ink strike down at the end, left alive is generally, that is your golden ticket to the game. But just having everyone down, only one player was left alive on the side of Ikanabe. That just was like, it was the cherry on top that just prevented anyone from retaking the tower. Great job from Greasy Goblins being able to take all those players out at just the right moment to make sure that triple ink strike had no meaning on the tower, and they take home game 7. They take home this round. They take home grand finals, and they take home the championship of the Frostbite Invitational Autumn 2023.
Oh, well, yeah. God, I'm floored. That was intense final game. That got me on the edge of my seat. My knees were weak. I was eating mom's spaghetti, bro. I had the whole shebang on me, man. That was an insane last game to end it on, and go and congratulate Greasy Goblins right now, bro. Like, slide into their DMs and tell them how much you appreciate them and how much you want to say congratulations for winning this damn invitational. Go give your boys the biggest fucking party ever, man. That was a downright insane set, and that was an amazing grand finals to end it off of on. I swear I didn't write a script for this tournament, okay? This was unscripted, okay?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it really? Reading the script here, it says nothing because there's no script.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, if you're interested in seeing both Ikanabe and Greasy Goblins fight again, you can watch them play the Splat World Cup, which is running next weekend. If you want to see both of these teams play and you want to catch more Splatoon action, the Splat World Cup will be running next weekend again, and you'll be able to see these teams fight against high-level players from other regions, from especially Europe, Japan, America. If that interests you, tune in next week at I don't know what the Twitch account is. I'm gonna plug their Twitch account. Hold on.
Platinum Cup.
Platinum Cup. Go follow them at SP Platinum Cup right now. You can get some updates. Yeah, thank you, Yuki, for putting it in chat. So that brings us to the end of our tournament stream. Do you have any comments to say, DJam?
Well, thank you to all of these incredible teams for coming along and playing and giving us such a great showcase. Thanks to all the TOs, the stream staff for putting this together, making it such a awesome you guys to watch, but for it to also run, being so smooth makes it very easy for us to commentate. And also, CoCo, where can the lovely people of the internet find you?
You can find me on Twitter at C__CoCo. And where can the lovely people find you, DJam?
You can find me on Twitter at DJam987 or here at Twitch at DJam98. Thank you, everyone, for tuning on in. This has been the Frostbite Invitational Autumn 2024. Congratulations to the Greasy Goblins for taking home the championships. See you all next time.